Oh, yeah. It's that time of the year, Christmas, and you're listening to Masters of the Cinematic Universe. I'm Joe. With me today, as always, Doug and Eric. What is good, guys? What's going on?
You know, it's the holidays, man, so it's ultimate stress. You know, there's too much to do.
Yep.
Too much to do. I can't, man. I'm hanging on by a thread.
Have you guys finished Christmas shopping?
No. Hell no.
Funny. That's really funny.
I was shopping, but I got a little distracted in the store the other day.
Oh, yeah?
It was a bit nipply in there. I mean, nippy.
Exactly.
What's new in your world, guys? What's going on?
Yeah, well, as Eric said, the holidays, they used to be fun, but, you know, they're not anymore. No, it's not that bad. I sound like I'm ready to hang myself, but no. Yeah, you know, it's typical Christmas stress, but it's a fun thing. You know, it's going to be a low-key Christmas for us, so.
Do you have to get your brother a Christmas present and a birthday present?
No, I combined them. Screw that.
Cheapskate.
Yep. It's not my fault he was born that day.
Yeah, that's true.
You ever step it up from the frankincense and myrrh to something more practical?
Yeah. Kind of back down on the gold, though.
He still never lets me forget that. So.
If he comes to town, you let him stay at your house, or you're like, there's no room at the inn.
No, because Santa's already here. He comes to town too. So Santa stays, he goes.
Oh, the blasphemy is running thick today,
Isn't
guys.
it bad? I could get way worse, but we're gonna leave that alone.
So you guys get anything cool, new, or anything being out of the ordinary going on?
I'm trying to think if there's any. No, I got back on my board after a couple of weeks of my old man hip injury. So I've been skating again and getting some exercise in, taking my kid to the park. No, man, it's just ultimate stress. You know, Christmas shopping's not done. I'm going to be at a Walgreens at Christmas Eve trying to find a dirty teddy bear to get for someone. So, yeah.
Be careful because Walmarts aren't 24 hours anymore.
What's that? Walmart's not 24 hours?
Yeah, because normally what I do is I go Christmas like the 23rd. I go the 23rd at like 4 a.m. to Walmart because no one else is in the store. And it's fucking epic. But this year they're not open 24 hours. Because of the whole virus situation.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense for them.
Yeah, I got a book I've been reading. It's a pretty good one. It's
You just had to bring it up, didn't you?
Yeah. It's a movie was based on this book that we reviewed previously in this show, and I will tell you the book is way more intricate, but there's a lot of lines that are, like, you can tell, like, when he wrote the script, he pulled the lines directly from the book.
That's cool.
Which movie are you referring to? Just for our listeners' sake.
That would be Big Trouble, the Dave Barry novel converted into the Barry Sonnenfeld film.
Yeah, you can go back a few episodes and listen to the episode we did on Big Trouble. You'll hear Joe really celebrate this film.
Oh,
and me and Doug just sort of nod off in the background.
Not so much, yeah.
Oh, it's so good, though. The book is even better, though, like I'm telling you. That's weird, though, because, like, the guy, Bruce, like, the guy who's yelling about the tits, he's called the big fat client from hell in the book.
Nice.
That's, like, how they refer to him.
Well, I guess they couldn't call him that in the movie, so it made sense.
And Mrs. Heather Weintraub is called the hot Barbie doll or something like that. But all the other characters are the same. Everyone's a jerk. Herc's in there, and they do say the line about I can't protect you holding my dick and all that shit's in there. Puggy's in there, except for Puggy originally doesn't come to Miami for Fritos. They don't mention Fritos at all, which is kind of weird.
Product placement.
Yeah. But he does get involved in voter fraud in the very beginning. And he thought the man was propositioning him, which was even funnier. And they don't shit on Geos as much in the book. I'll just leave it at they do shit on another car company that starts with that's 3 letters long, though. I'll leave it at that.
Listen, okay. Doug and I both drive Kias, and
we
will fight you. Even though I have no attachment to my car, I'll just do it anyway.
You got to fight Dave Barry on that one.
Yeah.
Also, I figured out the lyrics from the The seminal fluid song is called "I Want Your Sex Pootie," and they repeat that over and over again. That's the only message, the word in that song that they're listening to. And other than that, the only other thing I've been super excited about lately is the fact that I finally got episode 2 of season 4 a year after episode 1 came out for the Grand Tour.
Nice.
Which is basically the guys who did Top Gear forever, their Amazon show.
Listen, I'm excited for you, which I feel like should be your default when I tell you that I cried today because I saw the finale for The Mandalorian.
Yep, me too.
Cried like a baby. Oh,
Me too.
Did he get his armor?
no, he didn't get his armor, but something did happen in that episode that I predicted to you, which was, well, this is coming out Christmas. This is time. Spoiler alert.
Yeah.
The Mandalorian does remove his helmet to show the child his true face.
He does.
Yeah, and then what's ironic is the guy who played Boba Fett died this week.
Yeah,
I
he did.
know,
Jeremy
man.
Bullock.
Ah, Jeremy Bullock.
Yeah, that was a great picture, by the way, you posted, Erica. That was really cool.
Oh, thank you, man. Yeah, I got to nerd out with Jeremy Bullock dressed as Boba Fett a few years back, and yeah, he was the sweetest guy, man. Just like so accommodating of all the nerds that were vying for his attention. So sad to see him go.
Well, guys, we're here for a specific reason today, and seeing that it's his 80th Christmas, Doug, would you like to say grace?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
To the Republic. I've been holstering that joke all day. I'm like, oh, I'm going to get him with this one. I'm like, I hope nobody interrupts me and starts the episode.
Yeah, man.
Aunt
Last
Bethany is
episode,
the best.
we went back in time. Today we're going back in time to 1989.
Oh, yeah.
December 1st, 1989, where a new chapter of the Griswold family dysfunction was unleashed upon the world with National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Now, this flick is a staple in my house. Is it as important to you guys and your sort of Christmas traditions as it is over here?
Absolutely.
I don't really watch it that often, but I probably will start watching it every year. My son watched it with me today. He laughed really hard.
Oh,
Did
there
he?
you go.
How old?
Yeah.
The 11-year-old watched it with me.
Mhm.
That's a good age for this movie, man.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
it is.
really feeling the curse words.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
So
Yeah.
we're
No,
gonna
go ahead.
dive into this thing, man. I'm excited to talk about this movie because, like I said, it doesn't feel like Christmas until we sit down and watch this.
Yep.
Should we do what I always do with this movie and skip the animated intro?
See, I can't because I love that song. I love Christmas Vacation. I mean, I know it was written specifically for the movie, but Mavis Staples sings it, and I mean, she's amazing. And
You know,
I
that wasn't-
love the tune, so
That
I
wasn't
gotta
the
sit and
original
listen to it.
song they were going to use for it, though.
Were they gonna use Holiday Road again? Because this was the first time they didn't do that, right?
That's
Which,
true.
which is ironic because this is the only one of the vacation movies that takes place on the holiday, and they don't go on a vacation.
Yeah, exactly.
God damn,
But,
that's a good point. Yeah, I didn't really think about that.
But
I like the animated intro. I mean, it's a love-hate thing. It's jarring when it goes to live action. It always
Yeah.
feels weird to me.
yeah,
It's kind of the same thing with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. Like, it's
Yep.
got this really cool animated intro, and then there's something about like that abrupt kick in the nuts to live action. You're like, oh, this feels weird.
Yeah, yeah.
that was also released in '89.
Same year. Yep.
Yeah,
There was of course, we're talking about trivia. I should know there is a third movie that was released that year that had an animated beginning, but I don't remember what it is.
yeah,
I
it
forgot
was.
to note it.
It was nowhere near on the level of. Honey, I
Yeah,
Shrunk
that's
the
why I
Kids
didn't remember it.
or-
But yeah, those
or
both those
Christmas
movies.
Vacation. I
Yep.
read that a little earlier too. That's the only reason I knew that Honey, I Shrunk the Kids came out this year. That's why
Yeah,
I
I
thought it
know,
was
I know.
mid '90s.
Yeah,
If you-
I would have said the same thing.
Yeah. If you guys are like me, you do your homework like the day we record,
Oh
and
yeah,
you're just chock full of like all this trivia that you never had.
yeah. I actually started yesterday on doing my trivia.
See, I learned a lot too, man. It's stuff I never knew about this movie until
Yeah.
Google.
Why do you think I had my router set to the wrong router? Because I had to print my notes 5 minutes before we started.
That's great.
Okay, so yeah, I'm always a last minute guy my whole life. It's always been, and I usually produce my best work when I wait till the last minute. But you know what? It's not good on the nerves.
It's not. Speaking of your
Yeah.
best work, I saw the new pedal, man. That looks pretty cool.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, we could talk about it during the plugs, but I'm excited about this one. I'm digging it. I got a lot of good feedback from people, so I'm feeling good.
Hell yeah.
Yep.
All right, so we do get this Santa Claus animated deal, and it's has nothing to do with the rest of the movie.
Yeah, that's very true.
Nothing at all. The movie starts. It's based on a short story that was called Christmas '59, written by John Hughes for National Lampoon in 1980. Which I think the original Vacation movie was also based on a short John Hughes story.
Yes,
I wouldn't doubt it.
If my
It was.
Google is correct,
It was,
Yeah, that might have been the whole inspiration for it being in
Vacation
Chicago.
58. It was called.
That's right.
Yeah.
Nice. So we open this movie with a family road trip in the ugliest station wagon in cinema.
I hate Ford
It's a
Tauruses.
Ford Taurus,
Ford
the old
Taurus.
Moonmobile.
Now, I guess I was unfair kind of in my statement a couple seconds ago. Because they must be on a vacation because they're clearly not in Illinois.
No.
There's
They're
mountains all around them, and it looks very Colorado. If I had to
Yeah.
guess, I'd say Breckenridge, maybe.
I think you might be onto something.
Damn, that was a good guess.
Yeah.
Because we are in straight up Breckenridge, Colorado, on location for the opening sequence of this movie, which introduces us to our family. We have Clark Griswold, nicknamed Sparky, which is super weird. Chevy Chase, he's one of those like love or hate actors, and I don't know. I mean, I also hear he's terrible to work with, and he's an asshole to everybody.
Well, that's directly tied to this flick because Chris Columbus was set to direct this,
Yeah.
and he did some second unit shoots, and then went to John Hughes and says, "I can't work with Chevy Chase. I cannot work with this man," and he quit.
What's your favorite Chevy Chase role?
It's
Damn, that's a tough
got to be
question.
for me. It's these movies. I mean,
Yeah, there's something like there's still a weird energy that he has in these movies that's tough to put a finger on. Between this one and what's the vacation movie where they're on the train?
Is that European?
European Vacation.
European. Yeah. Look, kids, Big Ben.
Yeah.
When they're on the train and he's playing with the
Yes.
the ashtray, like the little flip out ashtray.
Yes. Yes.
It feels like one of those things that's not in the script, and he's just a weirdo, and he's doing things that are I can't explain why, but they're funny to me.
Now, I'm going to hit you with a not deep cut at all, but my favorite Chevy Chase role is Pierce Hawthorne from Community.
Of course.
Okay.
Of course.
Oh, I
No, I don't
love
disagree with that.
And he got kicked off that show for being an asshole.
I know.
And do you know how he died? They wrote him off. They wrote him off as dying. But do you know how he died in that show?
No.
I don't remember how he died. I do remember that he left everyone semen.
Yep. He died from dehydration for filling up canisters with semen.
Oh, that's too good.
And
Yeah.
Walton Coggin is the guy who tells him that because he's the polygraph administrator who does
No,
the
that's
whole
great.
thing.
Yeah.
So that's how he died in the show for fucking jacking off into test tubes.
God, that is so good.
But
All right, so
the
we got-
reason he got kicked off, I actually found out, was because there was an interview with Jay Chandrasekhar, who was one of the producers on Community, and he said that Chevy Chase went on a rant using the N-word,
Yeah.
and he told Yvette, the
Nicole
lady who
Brown.
plays Shirley, I can't remember her rest of her name, Yvette something, and Donald
Nicole
Glover.
Brown. Nicole
Yeah,
Brown. Yes.
Yvette Nicole Brown and Donald Glover, that he should be able to use that word too. That he didn't think there was anything wrong with it,
Right.
Oh,
Right.
Chevy.
and that's why he got kicked off the show.
Yeah.
Damn. Well, I feel
He's
I feel
great in this
worse
movie,
about,
though.
Yeah, he's really funny here.
We don't want to kill the buzz because he's great in this movie.
Yeah, but I see. What's funny is like as I watch this, all I could see is him being old in Community. I don't know what it is. Every time I see his
Yeah.
face and the facial moves he makes, I just think of him as old Pierce Hawthorne.
Yep.
Well, that's his curse, I guess. That's his cross to bear.
Yeah. Which he did get shit on in that show quite a bit. So, but we're not talking about Community. Let's talk about the Christmas Vacation.
All right, so we got Clark Griswold. We got Beverly D'Angelo playing his wife Ellen. Juliette Lewis in the role of Audrey, the daughter, and Johnny Galecki as Rusty.
Yeah.
Johnny Galecki later doing some TV stuff and Roseanne. That was kind of like my first intro to him.
Yeah.
And
then a terrible show that we shouldn't even talk about. It's so terrible.
We're not going to bring it up.
Don't even say
horrible fucking TV show. We just talked about a great TV show. Let's not talk about a horrible one.
No.
So they are driving along and in their terrible station wagon, and all of a sudden there's this big pickup truck that comes up behind him too close.
Oh, I love that fucking Dodge too. That thing is sexy.
It's a cool truck for sure.
You want some trivia on that truck?
It was used in some movies.
There you go. It was used in Kurt Russell's. It was Kurt Russell's truck in Overboard. And you remember that great Roddy Piper movie, They Live?
Yeah, that's what They Live is the one I was thinking of.
Yeah, it's in that flick too. Same truck.
Yeah.
Yep.
God,
I love that truck. That truck's, I don't know, it's so shitty, but it looks so fucking cool.
Exactly, because it looks like it'll just drive forever.
And it's an old fucking crew cab. Like, you don't see many old crew cab trucks.
Yeah. Yep.
And I'm finding out too, like now patina cars are becoming really popular. So
Hell yeah.
Even as is, this truck looks cool.
Yeah, I agree.
So
now the Taurus though, fuck that Taurus.
That Taurus is miserable.
And what I don't understand is, what year did Tauruses come out? They couldn't have come out much before this.
Yeah, it was a mid '80s thing.
Because this thing looks like it's fucking 20 years old. It's like just fucking beat to hell.
Yep.
Oh man, the Taurus. Rest in peace. So yeah, we got our first taste of Clark as a family man. He's singing Christmas carols with his wife. They're super corny. It's fantastic. The kids are disinterested. And then this truck rolls up, and you get to see another side of Clark, which is he's just a douchebag. It's just great. He he doesn't want this truck to pass because that's what it's trying to do. He takes it as an insult to his manhood.
Yes.
But he doesn't take driving a Ford Taurus as an insult to his manhood.
Well, no, because he's at his core, he cares about family above all else. So I think for him that car represents the pinnacle of being the perfect father and husband. And anything that gets in the way of that in this film really sets him off to the point of lunacy. There's stuff that happens later in this movie that this man goes off the rails in ways that's unacceptable.
Yeah, kind of. I'd agree with that.
So he flicks these guys in the truck off, and
Hey, look, a reindeer.
Yeah, hey, look, a reindeer. Flicks them off, and basically just races to catch up with him. Road rage crazy. Yeah. It's kind of delightful. Like, this guy's kind of a psychopath.
I will say though, they were fucking tailgating him pretty fucking hard.
Oh,
like,
aggressive.
they were right on that bumper. It wasn't like, an acceptable amount of let me get around. It was right up his ass.
Yes.
Oh yeah, they were definitely, and they were laughing and stuff. Like, they were definitely fucking with with this guy, for sure. So the scene sort of culminates in a moment where you don't see it yet, but there's a big semi truck coming up from behind, and in the race to like pass and get past and pass, and Clark Griswold ends up driving underneath the semi truck, which looks like it's really being done by a stunt driver. I mean, this is
yeah,
this is a 1989 movie. I don't know if it's being towed in the shot in a weird way.
Probably
they did something. Yeah.
No, I read that it was actually a stunt driver who had to do the stunt. Now what's crazy is that car actually fit underneath that truck.
Yeah, I think they might have modified that truck.
They had to have modified it because, like, I've driven next to trucks before, and like, unless you have an extremely low car, you're not fitting underneath the truck.
No, they definitely modified it to get the stunt done.
Yeah, it does look just insane. So he's able to get out of it, and finds like a kicker ramp, flies through the air, and that's sort of like the spiritual beginning of the movie. Is they arrive at the Christmas tree farm in a fashion that only Clark Griswold could.
And I love his line, "Hey, made good time."
Yeah.
Like nothing just happened. Like,
No.
hey, we made good time. But she's like, what does she say? Like they're like underneath the truck, and she's like, I don't want to die. But she says it so like
I know.
like seriously, like not like, oh shit, we're under a truck. It's just like, I want to get there, but I don't want to die.
Yeah, she gives this man a lot of leeway in this movie.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty
She loves him.
remarkable.
That's so
So-
Sparky.
That's her spark. Yeah, very. Yeah,
Yeah, he must have a Yule log.
a big old Yule log.
Because there ain't no way otherwise.
I want to get my wife to give me a cute nickname like that, man. What the hell? I got nothing. So, the Griswolds now are on a mission to find the family Christmas tree, which apparently is like deep in the woods of Colorado.
Yeah, I mean, that must be that's why they went to Colorado, because they needed the perfect tree, because it wasn't in Chicago.
Yes. Now, in the movies that we discuss on this show, sometimes we'll talk about continuity and scale and things like that. The tree that Clark decides is the family Christmas tree has got to be like 30 feet tall. Like it's
Oh yeah, at least. I'm
Thereabouts,
looking at it on
yeah.
the screen.
It's
It is
absurd.
like massive.
Yeah. Now this tree will change sizes like many times throughout the
Oh,
course
yeah.
of this movie. I think this is it at its largest. Is when we first see it.
Oh yeah, no doubt about it. This thing is like, it's like a 3-story building.
Yeah. So he finds a tree and he's enamored with it, and like there's lights shining down from the heavens on it, and you know it speaks to his characters as you know wanting to do the absolute best for his family at all times, no matter what harm that causes. And the harm that causes in this scene is his daughter's eyelids are frozen.
You should see it when her eyes unfreeze.
It's pretty great, man. And I believe the way that they capped the scene off was with the son saying like, "Hey, did you bring a chainsaw?"
Bring a saw?
And-
Yeah. So somehow they uproot this fucking thing out of like frozen tundra.
Yeah. Dug it out.
Yep.
That is a great iconic shot, though. Just that 30-foot, tree draped over that station wagon.
I know.
Yeah. It's
Like,
like
you can't
hanging
even
off
see
the
it.
front.
In the back.
I don't even see how they see out the front window, and they got to drive all the way back to
know.
Chicago.
Exactly.
They drive like 4 states away with that thing on top of it.
So, let me ask you guys, while we're discussing sort of like the core of this character, are you like big Christmas people? Like, do you go all out decorating the house or with the lights or any of that?
Not anymore. When the kids were around, yes, we went all out all the time. We weren't outside decorators, but inside was definitely done.
Okay.
Now it's a little more subdued.
Joe, what are you guys doing for the holidays?
Got family around and stuff. We decorate a little bit. It's nothing crazy. It's just I gotta go shopping and buy tons of presents because there's like all kinds of people and kids, and when you got 5 kids, you gotta like spend some money. Unfortunately.
Yeah, it does
Oh,
get a little
yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
See, I think we started out sort of Griswoldy, and that like we, tried to do a lot, and then you do end up with a bigger family, and the money's spread a little thinner, and it's like, we got some like inflatable snowman somewhere, right? Like just throw it out in the yard, and that'll do.
We got the tree and like a wreath in the fireplace and stuff, but nothing crazy. But when each kid gets older and they want expensive shit for Christmas,
Yeah, that's the killer.
Oh, it
That's
gets
the
out
killer.
of control. Yeah.
I gotta like put like a limit of like $300 something per kid. I'm like, I can't go more than that.
Mhm.
All right. Well, the more you know. So now we get home and we meet the yuppie neighbors,
Yeah,
Oh.
the Chesters.
the
Yep.
Chesters. They're kind of the villains of the movie, but I don't know that they actually ever do anything wrong.
I know. I'm like,
No,
I'm
they
like
don't.
these poor people. Like, they're assholes, but like,
But
they
like,
live
why
next
are
door
they
to this
assholes?
guy.
So is Clark, though. I mean,
Yeah.
he's an asshole.
Yeah, I was
I
gonna
kinda
say
feel
like
bad.
they're really not assholes, and when you meet them in this scene, it's literally they're coming home from work, they're smiling, they're laughing, and Clark comes out of his garage with a chainsaw and a hockey mask on.
And
Yeah.
I'm going to play one of my favorite lines of the entire movie here.
Yeah.
Hey, Griswold, where do you think you're going to put a tree that big? Bend over and I'll show you. You've got a lot of nerve talking to me like that, Griswold. I wasn't talking to you.
is
So
great.
fucking good.
So already, like, Clark is just a terrible dude
Yeah.
to live near. And yes, you know, it's the 80s culture and it's the yuppie thing, and you know, you're supposed to, I guess, villainize this couple for being like rich and young and
Well,
sort
yeah,
of vapid.
that's definitely an 80s thing with the yuppies. The yuppies were vilified.
They're just
At
like
the
living in
time.
the wrong part of town. Like I picture them being downtown somewhere. Why are they in
Yeah.
this neighborhood?
I know, it's weird. So, I mean, yeah, so we meet a younger Julia Louis-Dreyfus before Seinfeld. She was not really well known, which was cool, but you could see
Although she was
just as funny.
rich.
Yeah, and her husband is played by Nicholas Guest, who's Christopher Guest's brother.
Yep.
So that was cool.
Mm.
He actually starred in a movie with Randy Quaid. They were in The Long Riders.
That's right.
That was a great flick. All right, maybe we'll do that down the road. But that was with the Carradine brothers, the Keach brothers, the Quaid brothers, and the Guest brothers playing the younger gang. You know, just back in the 1800s. Cool movie. But yeah, that's Nicholas Guest.
So we get basically our next scene is the trees in the house, and it's our Evil Dead sequence where Clark cuts the rope,
Yeah.
and there's just branches flying out of windows. Like, it's so great, man.
Lots of sap in here.
Yeah, little full, a lot of
Looks
sap.
great, little full, lots of sap. It's just his delivery. That's what makes Chevy Chase great, though. You know, as a comedic actor, is that just deadpan, dry delivery. You know.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That's what I was saying earlier to Joe. Like, I think this does rank as my top Chevy Chase performance because there's just something like weird and quirky about his delivery on some of this stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he does a lot of the same stuff in Community. I think that's why I like it so much. Plus, I like hang out with this older guy like who goes to lunch with me a lot. He's just a buddy of mine. It's like, but he reminds me a lot of Pierce from
Oh,
Community.
jeez.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not.
Yeah, exactly.
No, but it's funny. Like,
It's
it's a good thing, but at the same time, it's funny. Like, so I'm like,
Does he
I feel
know
like-
that he's your comic relief?
oh yeah, like I'm like the Jeff Winger and he's the Pierce. I was gonna say I'm the Troy, but you know I don't want to cross too many
No,
lines.
no. You're
I'm more like the
Winger.
Jeff. He like hangs out with me so he can be cool, and then he just calls me gay all the time.
You're the Jeff minus the six pack.
Ah, come on, I got some beer.
Yeah.
No. I wish I looked like Joel McHale.
He's got a good stubble situation going.
He takes
Physique.
care of himself.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know?
Well, that one episode where they go to the Inspector Spacetime convention, and they get him confused with the bad guy. I can't remember his name. It was Insectoid or something like that, and it's just like ripped ass like green alien.
Yes.
Oh, see, that one's flying over my head. I know there's episodes of Community that I missed.
Inspector Spacetime is kind of like their play on Doctor Who.
Right.
And one of the villains is like this green alien guy that looks just like Joel McHale, and like everyone at the convention like thinks it's him. So like, there's a whole thing where he plays into pretending like he's this guy so he can like get chicks.
That tracks.
Yeah.
All right, so we get our kind of exposition for the movie. The family's coming to the house. It's gonna be a big deal. We get some sort of like Three Stooges physical comedy out of Chevy Chase and Beverly D'Angelo with the tree sap stuck to the magazine, stuck to the hair.
I must have missed that scene. I mean, I remember them laying in bed, but I don't remember anything else in that scene, physical comedy wise.
Well,
Yeah,
no,
he's-
because the sap all over his hands. He was ripping
You
the
guys are
magazine
missing
pages out.
Innuendo. I'm sitting here when
Yeah.
someone's in a negligee and there's very quite obviously some stuff going on there.
Oh, you zeroed in on the sheer material of
Yeah.
Beverly
Bit
D'Angelo's.
nipply in here.
It's a little nipply in here. Yeah. Look, Russ
I
can't
think
see the
it's-
lines.
I think it's in her contract because she reveals the cleave a lot.
Yeah. It's so crazy how comfortable they are together, too. Like, I wonder if, like, they ever were, like, a real thing because they are super fucking comfortable together.
She was
Yeah,
with Al
those-
Pacino for a while. She got kids with Al Pacino.
Oh, she's got
Sorry,
great
I
ass.
forgot. I forgot.
I can do Al Pacino. That's one of my few impressions I can actually do. That's not terrible.
That's not terrible.
Yeah,
Oh,
I mean,
man.
most of my impressions are terrible.
But not that one.
I can do Al Pacino. I can do the horrible monster from Big Mouth, and I can do New York guy.
All right.
Your New York guy is strangely not very New York sounding.
It just depends on what neighborhood you're in.
Yeah. Okay.
No,
and you
no, it
know all the
doesn't.
neighborhoods, right?
Oh, you're from Long Island. That don't count.
Yeah. Okay.
That's not New York.
All right, so we cut to Clark's place of business, and he works for a company that does all kinds of cool stuff. Chemical coating for cereal is a big project he's working on.
Cereal varnish.
Cereal
No.
varnish, which is so like that's such a funny bit, man. That feels like something that came from Mad Magazine.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
Or
He could be up
National
for-
Lampoon magazine.
Yeah,
Or
well,
National
that's
Lampoon.
true. Yeah. He might be up for Food Additive Designer of the Year.
So he's talking to his coworker, basically about his food additive thing, and I want to say, I can't say for sure because that's how terrible I am at remembering the sequence of things. But I think it's in this scene where he shows him the plans for the swimming
Yes.
pool that
the,
he's gonna.
the bonus plans are revealed. He takes out the brochure.
Okay.
He says
Yeah, he
that
does pull out the brochure from his jacket pocket.
Yeah.
So we then see his boss, played by the guy I always refer to as Bill Murray's brother.
Come on.
No, Bill Murray's
Brian
Brian
Doyle Murray.
Doyle's brother.
Yeah, he's older. That's true.
Yeah.
No, he is great in everything, man.
He really
is.
I remember. I think the first thing I saw him in was Wayne's World
Yes.
as the owner of
Yeah.
Noah's Arcade.
Yep.
Yeah. His voice is so recognizable too, on top of everything else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny. I made a note in this scene when Clark is thanking him for the Christmas card, and then his lackey says it's corporate. When Brian starts looking around, you so see Bill Murray. Like you can see the family resemblance, the way he's like sort of looking around and his eyes are moving back and forth because he's trying to remember about these corporate cards that he had sent out. But you can definitely see it. I mean, there's a resemblance there in general all the time, but
It's the eyebrows and like the lines coming down like around it from his nose down to his mouth.
Yeah, and just the mannerisms, you could definitely see he's a Murray. It's cool.
And that hairline doesn't hurt either, man.
No.
Yeah, it's
Yeah. But just, Chevy Chase in that scene when all the corporate lackeys are filing into the boardroom.
Oh, yeah.
Merry Christmas,
I got it
Merry
right here if
Christmas,
you wanna
kiss
hear
my
it.
ass. Chris's ass. Yeah, please play it.
Oh, Mrs. Shirley, we got your Christmas card the
Oh.
other day, and my family and I are
really?
very flattered that you remembered us. Corporate cards.
Don't forget that report, Bill.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. Kiss my ass. Kiss his ass. Kiss your ass. Happy Hanukkah.
That's so great.
So next week, end up at the mall. We're doing some Christmas shopping, and this is a point in the movie where we get another character reveal about Clark. So we already knew he was kind of unhinged as a neighbor and sort of a douchebag, but he's also like a very creepy adulterer.
Yeah,
hell yeah.
like he is creepy too.
He'll
I'm just
take
like,
any chance he can get.
Yeah, and it's a very funny scene. I don't know, Joe, do you have any audio from this? Because I know I'm not going to do it justice.
talk for a second while I get this queued up perfectly.
But the way Chevy Chase just trips over his words while he's talking to this beautiful woman
Oh,
behind the counter.
it's amazing.
Yeah. Such a good performance.
It's predictable, but it's still funny. Like, you know what I mean? It's classic old man dirty jokes, but it's still funny when he does it. It's so good. And
yes. So I'll play through it real quick just so you can hear how awkward this is.
Can I show you something?
I was just smiling. I was just browsing.
For your wife or your girlfriend?
What? What happened? Woof. Guess wouldn't be any. Wouldn't be the Christmas shopping season if the stores were any less hotter than they are. Whew, it is warm in here.
Well, you have your coat on.
Yes. Oh, do I? How did that happen?
Because it's cold out.
Yes. It is. It's a bit nipply out. I mean nippy out. What did I say? Nipple? There is a nip in the air, though.
Can I take something out for you?
I was just looking at something for my wife. God rest her soul.
Oh, God, I'm so sorry.
Oh, no, she's not dead. We're just divorced. She's history. And obviously she doesn't wear underwear. And there are plenty of shopping days left until adulthood, which is to say Christmas as a Yule log. Not a log. I don't have a log, but I mean, if I had a log, not in the sense that you think I said I did. Good golly. 'Tis the season to be merry.
Well, that's my name.
Oh, shit.
No shit.
That's got to be one of my favorite scenes in the movie, man.
Yeah.
Especially when he's laughing at himself. Like it's
I know.
Yeah.
Yep.
He cannot hold it together. Like, I don't understand how this woman at all thinks that something's right with this dude.
Yeah.
So
And
yeah,
of course, Rusty catches him.
Yeah.
He's not surprised at all.
The most awkward
like-
double take ever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he sort of just laughs at his dad.
Hey, dude, Rusty's probably like, hell yeah. Because, I mean, later when we see Rusty's bedroom, you know what Rusty's about.
I know.
you do know what Rusty's about,
Crazy.
which is why his sister doesn't want to sleep in the same bed.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
don't blame her.
Yeah, me neither. Which is odd because we didn't mention this earlier. We did talk about, the other movies, but the kids are different in every movie.
Yeah, they are.
This is the
funny.
first movie where he's younger than her,
Yes.
That's true.
which is
Yeah.
really odd that he, Back to the Future himself back a couple years.
I know. I guess it's whoever they could get to play the roles.
So after Clark's done looking at lingerie and the invisible panty line, we end up back at the Griswold house as the family arrives, the out-of-towners, and it's a really foreboding, cool sequence. The way they did it, the doorbell rings,
Yeah.
Yes.
and then it rings again, but they keep deepening the pitch,
And
Yeah.
slowing it down.
slowing it down, and it becomes this ominous, almost horror movie feel when you finally get to that last boom, boom.
Yeah.
And
You just
they
hear
pan
them
in on the
arguing
door.
about who gets to park in the garage.
Yes.
Which, if you have a big family or you have a difficult family, this becomes super relatable. Because, as nice as it seems in theory to get everybody together, it can become sort of nightmarish. And, the way that this sequence is filmed and the camera work is very frenetic, and there's kissing and there's hugging and there's pinching of cheeks, and it's very overwhelming, which is true to how it feels in life.
Oh,
That's
definitely. Definitely.
Yeah,
And
it's got a very natural feel.
Yeah, some real quick trivia about the house and that neighborhood. It's actually a backlot in Universal.
corner.
And the Chester's, the neighbor's house, was the Murtaugh's house in all
Yep.
4 Lethal Weapon movies.
Oh, jeez.
It was,
Same
yeah.
house. Yeah, so that's pretty cool. Movie magic. That's what it is.
See, I read about their house that it was the same house from Bewitched, the Griswolds, and
No,
the new
the-
kitchen.
It's the house that he's watching in the when he's in the attic, that he's in the the home movies, that's the
Yeah.
house from Bewitched.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah, because
That makes more
that was
sense.
a single level ranch. The Bewitched
Okay.
house didn't have. No, it did have 2 floors, but yeah, yeah, that's cool. I mean, the house itself, the interiors were a soundstage, but
Yeah.
it was in the back lot. And then I do want to point out that when the doorbell rings, Rusty's watching "It's a Wonderful Life."
That's true.
I have never seen that movie in its entirety.
Neither have I.
Okay.
I've
And
also
I don't
never.
have a good reason for it. It's just
I've also never watched Christmas Story.
no, really. See, that's our Christmas tradition. I mean, at 8:00 on Christmas Eve, that gets turned on the TV. It doesn't get turned off till 8:00 the next night, Christmas night. So, but yeah, I've never seen "It's a Wonderful Life," and I really should sit down and do it, but I just haven't yet. It's kind of weird.
I was that way for a pretty long time too. That there's like these old classic Christmas movies that I never saw. That one and oh god, what's the other one? Winter Wonderland.
Yeah. I never watched any of them movies.
Is that the one with Danny Kaye?
White Christmas is the one with Danny Kaye and Bing Crosby that's referenced later. In the
White
movie.
Christmas. That's what I'm thinking about with
Yeah.
Sister, the big musical number and like all
Yes.
the war stuff. Okay.
I've
Yeah.
also never watched the what the hell is that movie called? The Sound of Music.
Yeah, I've seen that a couple of times, but it's not something I watch regularly.
It's like those movies that like always are like on like the free cable channel, like
Oh, yeah.
TBS or whatever or TNT. It's always these fucking like shitty movies that I don't care anything about.
Those were the ones that like the substitute teachers would put on when you came to class. It's
Yeah,
like,
that's
we're all
true.
gonna watch Sound of Music. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch The Sound of Sleeping.
All right, so
You-
Clark gets
You
Rusty.
young folks, that's all I'll say.
Hey, I mean, I had better movies like Home Alone when I was growing up as a Christmas movie.
No
Okay.
respect. No respect.
No, none at
I
all.
get no respect.
I need you off my fucking lawn now.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, Eric.
No. So Clark gets his son out, and he wants to, put Christmas lights on the house. And in what's probably the most relatable scene in the movie, he hands him a giant ball of lights.
Yeah.
Great.
Have fun entangling this.
I know. And you can
that's-
see that Rusty is more grown up than his dad because he's like, "You think you're overdoing it, Dad? When was the last time I ever overdid anything?"
What does he say? Like,
Clark's response.
Yeah.
yeah, no, it's. I sort of relate to Clark, like I said early on, like in my marriage and having kids, like trying to do the house up like this for. I don't even know what the reason would be. Just because you feel like you have to.
Yeah,
create
that's what it
memories
is.
and
Yeah, exactly. You're trying to create the memories, maybe force them a little bit. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah.
force is the right word.
Then we get the ladder scene. Where
Ladder
the
scene
yeah.
part 1.
Part one.
It's multiple
Yeah.
ladder scenes.
The,
And that's
the
one of
neighbors
those-
are like, he's not going to fall. Well, maybe he'll fall, but he won't die. Not that lucky.
Yes.
That's there's something to be said about like the great physical comedy in this movie. And
Yeah.
all of the like ladder and putting lights on the house shit is just classic.
Yeah.
I mean, it belongs in the reel for me with any like, Three Stooges stuff or even like
Yeah.
Evil Dead 2, like all these
Yeah.
weird physical comedy things that I love. Him just sliding down the ladder and having no reaction, like just fall.
Yeah. He's
Yeah.
looking around to see if anybody saw him do it, but otherwise he's unaffected. Yeah, he
Now-
goes back to his Chevy Chase's appreciation for the old silent movies, the Buster Keaton, Charlie Chaplin
Yeah.
type, just physical comedy. I mean, he ended up with a little bit of a pain pill addiction because of his physical
Yeah.
comedy on SNL and such, but he's one of the best at it. There's no question about it.
Now, as a person who checks safety for roofing crews every day, there's so many things in this that drive me absolutely insane.
Oh, we're gonna get the inside scoop.
First of all, the angle of his ladder is nowhere near the angle it should be.
Right.
It's like almost upright.
Yeah. OSHA has a rule that states that for every 4 foot a ladder goes up, it must go out 1 foot. So
Right.
that, of course, is not the case. Also, a ladder must extend 3 feet past the edge of a roof and be tied off, which also is not the case. When you're working on a roof, you should be wearing some sort of fall protection, which also is not the case. And then just as not part of OSHA regulations or safety whatsoever, you really shouldn't be putting staples into your shingles that'll put holes in it that'll cause leaks. But those things in general.
Quick story. My dad was a big Christmas lights guy. We lived in a 2-story ranch, and there was a Christmas when he was putting the lights up along the top, right pretty much where Clark is, right below the gutters. So 2 stories up, and he's on his ladder. And he didn't secure the bottom of the ladder too well. And the ladder slid down. It didn't fall back. It slid forward, like down the house. And for the next, until we moved out of that house, there were 2 lines on the big picture window in the living room where the ladder slid down.
That's funny.
And from that year forward, those top lights never came down. Like he took every other light down, but those lights just stayed up until the next year. He wanted nothing to do with it. Yep.
I don't blame your dad, man.
Yeah.
I don't do heights well. I can't even get up on the roof. Like, it freaks me out. Sorry, Joe. I know.
No, I walk up in heights all the time. That's just part of like my daily day.
I can't do it, man. Like, something happens to my insides. Like my fucking scrotum like tries to go inside my body. Like, it just can't handle. And it's weird. It's just like it's not all heights. Like, I'm not afraid of flying. I've been in a hot air balloon. Like, I think it's just short heights like that. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. It's a weird sensation. But I digress. Clark's having a hard time on this ladder because obviously he's doing a lot wrong, per Joe. You're the expert. And he's just falling all over the fucking place. He leans back against a tree, kicks himself back, swings around the other side, and in this great like bout of physical comedy, like doesn't know which hole of the ladder to put his arm through.
Yeah.
He's just like a bumbling everyman.
Yes. Yep.
Things are ramping up inside the house as far as tension with the family. We talked a little bit before about, the daughter being dismayed at having to sleep in the same bedroom as her clearly like, over hormoned brother.
Yeah, he's horny as he gets.
Old Galecki.
And she's got 80s hair like you would not believe.
Ain't it great?
Teased out.
Yep.
I don't know if we're at the scene yet, but I'm trying to fast forward through as we go because I'm trying to watch things. Oh, no, he's still putting up decorations. He's stapling the roof and shit.
Ellen is stressed out too. She's starting to smoke. And,
Are
she
you
basically
smoking?
tells him, basically says, look, if you think it's gross that you have to sleep next to your brother, I got to sleep next to your father every night.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I think it's a great comparison.
Yeah, which that kind of hurt me to my core because, also relatable.
I don't know. She seems to be pretty into him all the time, so.
That's true. That is true. There's a little Peggy Bundy situation happening with her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Although, Al Bundy was way cooler. I fucking love Al Bundy. He's a true American hero. Like when they made those Budweiser commercials, they should have made it by him. Real American hero. Threw a touchdown for Polk High School.
So, you keep throwing me, Joe. You're throwing references at me that I'm not expecting. So we cut to, it's now nighttime on a snow-covered Chicago 2-story roof, and Clark is still up there stapling lights, which is just madness to me. Like, I can't imagine. Again, I am afraid of heights, so disclaimer, I wouldn't be up there in any condition, but my God, like it seems so unsafe. And of
And
course
the holes he's putting in this roof with the staples.
several thousand holes. So he does slip and fall and slide all the way down, which is my literal nightmare. And he hangs onto the gutter for dear life. And as he tries to sort of shimmy his way across, it comes loose and it rockets this sort of like missile of ice across his yard.
Yeah.
Yeah, right into the neighbor's bedroom.
That is a great gag. I absolutely love this part of the movie.
And just smashes their CD player to bits.
Yeah, and what looks to be a very nice like stereo
yeah,
system.
that's a Bang & Olufsen. That was big back in the day. Yeah.
What is it? What is it?
The brand is called Bang and Olufsen. It's Danish.
Bang & Olufsen. Okay.
So back in the 80s, the 70s and 80s, it was like the top brand.
Oh,
You know,
It's
it
probably
cost
expensive.
thousands of dollars.
It looks like an old PlayStation 3.
I know.
yeah, it
I
kind
know.
of does.
Yeah,
But,
no,
I
it was
I can imagine. Yeah, I mean,
top
it
of the
looks-
line back then.
It looks pretty serious. They got the nice CD collection, the nice rack, you know.
Yeah.
And when they do
Yeah.
get home and assess the damage, there's like scorch mark, like it's over the top.
So great, but there's no evidence.
Why is
Why
the
is
carpet,
the carpet
wet?
I don't know, Margot.
You know?
I say that to my wife all the time.
That's funny. Oh, that's
I
great.
don't know, Margot. And
That's
it
why
never
you don't
gets
got a
old.
nickname.
That's why I don't have a cool nickname.
Because you're
like
treating
Spark.
her like Margot. You need to be treating her like Beverly.
I'm gonna give it a shot, man. I'm just gonna. I guess the secret is just to be an absolute monster of a husband.
Yeah, that's what I do.
So, we're now at the scene where Clark gets his family outside. He's so excited to show them the lights. He's been working so hard to get them up. I gotta imagine it's like midnight at this point.
Yeah, probably.
Everybody's freezing. They're in their pajamas.
I'm going to freeze my baguettes off.
Her parents are drinking like crazy.
Yes,
Isn't it great?
yes.
Yeah.
The
They
parents.
look like they live in Florida.
Oh, definitely. You can see it.
and wonderfully cast, this family. I neglected to get into some of the casting here.
Oh, definitely.
But Doris Roberts, her name in the film is Frances. She's playing Ellen's mother, and always drunk and always just dissing whatever Clark is doing. Like
Yeah.
it feels like a very mother-in-law character.
Oh, definitely. And the dad the same way. Just he kind of knows that Clark's adult.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
He's just-
And those great shots of like the dad's just sleeping on on Lazy Boys while the game is on. Like that feels very authentic, you
The
know.
old
yeah.
ladies are making a gingerbread house.
yeah.
So big moment. He's making everybody do an awkward drum roll with their mouths. And in that moment, like if you watch that scene, it starts off as playful, like all right, drum roll, and no one's doing it, and then he gets real serious. He's like, you
Drama
better fucking drum roll.
Yeah.
Joy to the world.
And he plugs it in, and nothing happens.
Yeah.
And it's the beginning of this downward spiral for Clark.
Yeah.
Things really start to fall apart for his idealized Christmas, and this is the first
Exactly.
straw. So he's he's super frustrated. I think the mother-in-law says, like, I hope this shows you kids what a waste of resources this is. They're just
Yes.
shitting
The daughter
all over
says,
him.
Well, he worked really hard. And
Yeah.
her
They
dad
try
goes-
to. They try to.
Dad goes,
defend
a
him.
washing machine works hard.
That's what,
That's a great
that's
line.
True. And yeah, a washing machine works hard, and even Clark's dad, when he's giving him the pep talk, he's like, if you need help, give me a holler. I'll be upstairs sleeping. So, no one wants to help him.
Yeah. And everything that everyone says just makes him feel worse. You know,
Oh,
Yes.
and then like
Clark's
his
mom
son,
says, I can imagine it looks great, like in
Yeah. Yep.
and then his son pulls the look what time it is with the fake watch, which is a Chevy Chase staple of his
Oh yeah, that's
repertoire.
definitely one of his bits. Yeah.
And the son does it.
Yep.
Was that like an SNL thing?
I think so.
Hey, he's
Okay.
done it all. Yeah.
He's just done
movies
it
and
everywhere.
everything, but yeah.
But
Look-
like the kid pulls it so like slickly. Oh, look what time it is! I
Yep.
gotta go inside. I gotta wash the dishes and feed the hog.
Feed the hog. That felt like some real like, hey Galecki, like you're a real gifted kid actor. Just run with it. Just go.
yeah,
He's like,
exactly.
I gotta do some homework.
Yeah.
Gotta feed the hog. He should have
Pay
said I gotta
bills, wash
jack
the
off in my
dishes."
bedroom because
Yeah.
posters crazy.
Yeah, let's just say he had a Big Bang Theory going on in his head.
End the episode, Joe. Turn it off. So it's now nighttime. Everybody's, we get to see everyone's sleeping situation. We get to see the brother and sister, and he's
Oh, and
like,
it is creepy.
yeah,
That's
he's
the
like
thing, it
up
is
on
creepy.
her.
And she's like, "Get the fuck off me!"
I know. I love Clark's father. He's reading Audrey's Sassy magazine with a flashlight.
No, I love her father who's laying in the bunk bed, and on the
Oh, it's so
ceiling
great.
is the
Yeah.
poster. But the better poster is one behind him of the two turtles
I
humping.
know, the two turtles humping. It's so great.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. So actually, that poster on the ceiling goes back to my reference in Back to the Future about the 80s being like a designer jeans sort of weird period, and the whole Calvin Klein thing. So the girl on the poster is Carrie Otis. She was a Guess jeans model. Guess jeans were big in the 80s. They were another one of those designer jeans companies. And she was married to Mickey Rourke during that time, and in a couple of his movies as well. But the weird thing, and I have no idea why, but the poster is signed by the co-founder of Guess Jeans, not her.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, it's signed by Georges Marciano.
Oh,
He's one of the co-founders of the company.
that's funny.
But it's her. It's her on the poster. So yeah.
That's kind of weird for a.
She's not that attractive. Like,
Nah,
I'm
if
looking
you-
at the poster. And
No,
like,
the poster itself is kind of weird. She's a
her
looker.
face looks very Geico caveman.
Geico
all right, Joe.
caveman.
Come on.
God damn, that's
Just
rough
Google
stuff, man.
Just saying,
Just-
though.
Just Google. All right. She doesn't look like the Geico caveman. Trust
She
me.
does in that poster.
All right. Fine. I mean, it's the weirdest angle you're ever going to see, though. That's the thing.
All right,
Old Galecki saw it.
don't disparage
Yeah.
this '80s model any further.
I
Joe.
hope they
Exactly.
wash those sheets because I'm imagining.
Oh, very stiff.
And why does he
Yeah.
have bunk beds?
Yeah, I know.
Because
And he sleeps on the top bunk.
it's
Well,
part
does
of
he
his
sleep
routine.
on the
He
top or
likes
the
to-
bottom one? Is like the top one like the jack in bed and the bottom one's the sleeping bed?
Every kid has a jack in bed and a sleep in bed.
Yeah, you gotta have both.
You know this. Don't tell me you didn't have a jack in bed and a
And
sleep
you
in bed.
know this.
So Clark next morning wakes up early. You know, he's got some gifts that he needs to hide up in the attic, and he's got one of those cool, pull downs with the ladder, which I always wanted. Never.
You don't
had.
have one of those?
No, I got the shitty, like you get the ladder up and you have to move the piece of drywall out of the
Yeah,
way.
Fuck that.
Yeah,
No,
terrible.
my last couple houses both had the pull downs with the staircase.
Yeah,
This-
I've had.
This house is a flat roof, so I don't have an attic.
Yeah.
Now those attics, they also double as like living space. Like you could totally finish them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, a lot of times the problem is the way the trussing works. Like, there's just no way to walk through because the trusses are always in your way.
Yeah, but like if you're a teenager, you just drywall that up. That's a cool place to put Blink 182 posters, man.
Yeah.
Like that's the dream. And you got
Also, with being in Florida, your insulation's usually too deep to like do anything.
Oh, that's true.
You have like 4
Yeah.
feet of insulation.
That's true. I didn't really think of that. So Clark makes his way up to the attic, and this man is just walking around up there with zero abandon.
Oh yeah, doesn't realize that you have to walk on the trusses or you're gonna go through the drywall.
Yes, and it's it kind of feels like a thing that he would know, but yeah, he's walking around and there's a shot where like he hides the present but finds an old present from like a previous year
Mother's Day.
covered in dust.
It's
From
from 1983, which is
1983.
actually the year that Vacation came out, the original Vacation.
Right.
There we go. That's happened to me as well. That same scenario where I find like old shit that I've hidden.
Yeah, it was a Mother's Day present.
That's perfect. So yeah, he ends up. I don't know how. I don't know the mechanics of these fancy ladder doors.
That's bullshit because they
Yeah,
don't
exactly.
lock.
They don't lock.
They don't lock. Okay.
No.
So you could have told me that they work this way. I would not have known the
No,
difference.
it pissed me off the whole time. Like, he could easily just push it down because they don't lock.
Right.
Huh.
And like when he pulls it, he just pulls the chain. It doesn't like unlock and then he just literally
No,
pulls
it
the
just
chain.
goes
yeah,
up.
he just okay.
Yeah.
Well, movie magic.
Yeah.
Yep.
So he locks himself in the attic, and the family's leaving to go shopping. You know, like again, this feels like a weird thing to me. I don't know if this is like a traditional thing in other families, but like the entire family leaves to go shopping for Christmas presents, like
Yeah.
the day before Christmas.
Well,
I mean,
it's
we're
not
still a
you
few
know
days before.
this is a weird timeline. I meant to bring this up earlier. They arrive on like the 16th of December. I mean,
Yeah,
why
that's
the
true.
hell are they
That's
there
true.
for 2 weeks before Christmas almost?
And thank
you know?
God we have an advent calendar randomly to tell us what day it is.
Yeah, I know, exactly. So, yeah, that whole timeline's a little weird. So we really don't know if it is or not. Like, you know, in the December 22nd or whatever, right? It's very strange.
That's true. And I guess there's ways you could justify it. Like, look, we don't want to travel with all these gifts. We came,
Yeah.
a very long way, so we're going to shop while we're down there. Yeah, I'm blowing apart my own theory. So while he's locked up here in the attic, he starts to rummage through some of the old stuff. He couldn't. He tried to flag them down before they left, but he couldn't. So he's walking around looking for things to keep himself warm because he's obviously freezing his baguettes off.
Yeah.
And finds like some cool thrift shop, like costume.
Big stole and hat. He looks like Norma Desmond from
Once again, going back to Community, he looks like the Swami character he plays in the one episode where he puts the turban on.
Yeah,
The
a little
turban
bit,
is a nice touch.
Yeah.
And I neglected to say
wrap.
there's also some great slapstick of like, walking
Boards.
around on
Oh, yeah.
boards and getting slapped
Yeah.
in the face. And
Falling through the roof, which apparently he doesn't decide to go through with the hole that he just created.
I know, right? He just, yeah.
And that hole also went through the Geico Caveman's poster.
Yeah.
the Geico caveman's pose. How dare you? What I love about that scene is when he goes through, he puts his hands down for warmth. Like,
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Also, I'm not going to lie, Corey Otis sounds like a blues singer.
Her name is Carrie Otis, not Corey.
Corey. It still sounds like someone who should be singing Delta Blues. Like, I went there this morning, looked like a Geico Caveman. I should trim up my eyebrows and get rid of this perm.
see, I like the perm, man.
Yes.
I like the perm and I like the tees. I'm into these 80s hairdos. All right, so Clark.
I hope you like the T's because in the 80s it was all about the T's. It wasn't about the A's.
I'm a bit of an A man, but I'll take the tees.
Yeah, me too.
So Clark finds these old home movies while he's rummaging around, and interestingly enough, in my search for random trivia, it's a tribute to the short story that the film is based on.
Yep, 1959 Christmas.
But when it starts, it says 1955.
I
Yeah.
caught that also. I was wondering, but I think what happens is when he pulls that first one out, he watches that one, but he's been up there for a couple hours.
Yeah,
watching
there's
it,
a
so-
different. It's a different movie. You're right.
So by
Joe.
the time
Yeah.
like you see that, he's been watching like a whole bunch of them, and like he's on 55 at this point.
Okay, that makes
That-
sense.
That's how I sold that to myself because I was
Yeah.
thinking about that too.
Now, this is the Clark Griswold, the side of him that I also relate to, is the nostalgic side. 'Cause
Oh, yeah.
He's crying watching these old home movies, and he's just wanting to connect to that
Yep.
feeling of being a kid and how magical that the season was for him and all that.
I know he's looking at the radio flyer he's holding, and he's just tearing up. I
He
had
also
one of
looked
those.
like
by
an
the
only
way.
child at one point because I didn't see any other kids there with him.
Yeah, I don't know. We did see Uncle Lewis for the first time.
Yeah,
Still
I saw
chomping
that.
his stogie.
So they all get back, and you see his wife. She wants to hide presents up there too, I guess. That's just like the hiding spot of the
Yeah.
house. And you find out that he's set up shop on the door.
I know. It's like typical Clark. You know.
So he falls out. Meanwhile, the neighbors get back from a run, and they're wearing those like aluminum heat suits.
It's like
those
they were
sweatsuits.
trying to cut weight for an MMA fight.
yeah.
Yeah,
I was like looking at that, going, "What's going on here?" Yeah.
I remember seeing those watching a Jackie Chan documentary, and he's running around in this like aluminum suit
Yeah.
in summertime.
Yep.
It's like, oh, you have to stay in shape.
Yeah, it's
And
to
I
cut
like-
weight. Yeah.
Product placement: they're drinking Evian water,
I know.
which is naive spelled backwards.
All right, I got a quick story. I spent my honeymoon in Avignon, France, so I bathed in that water because all the water in that town comes from the spring with it. So you might have drank my bath water at one point.
Ooh.
No, I go with Zephyr Hills.
All right, just saying. Yeah.
Polk County's finest.
Polk County's fine.
What? That's not funny to you, Doug, but to me and Eric, that's pretty fucking funny.
Okay. All right.
Oh, Joe, side note, you'll appreciate this. This is completely unrelated, but we were talking Mandalorian earlier in the episode. I saw something today that said, I think the Mandalorian's from Jacksonville because in every episode he hands someone his baby so he can fight someone.
Now that I find hysterical. That's fucking
To put it this way, Polk County is kind of like a very trashy county.
okay.
Oh, yeah.
They were very heavily featured on Live PD, I think.
Oh, okay.
Polk and Pasco,
Yeah.
which are right next door neighbors to each other. It's between Tampa and Orlando.
Yes, no bueno.
It's
Okay.
it's where the Carneys live too in Gibsonton.
Oh, nice.
Now that I
Like-
didn't know, but it tracks.
Yeah, Gibsonton is like the Carney capital of the world. It's where it was where like American Horror Stories Freak Show was based on and
Oh,
stuff.
really? Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Like it's where all the carnival people would like come and live and like.
Oh, you
they
mean
had,
the
like,
last good season of American Horror Story?
No,
Okay.
like, bullshit. Fuck you in
Yeah,
that one.
that show can go.
That was not the
suck
last
something.
good season. That show's amazing.
Oh,
You bite your words.
you
bite
are
your
so-
tongue.
Wait a second. Did you
So
like the
wrong.
Vampire Hotel season?
No, that
That was
season was
awful.
Shit. That was the worst season by far.
No,
Okay.
it wasn't. The fucking Apocalypse season was a clown show.
That was bad too. But the
That was a
vampires
clown
really
show.
pissed me off. See, and what sucks is like I liked half of the hotel season, but I could not stand the vampire part.
No, I agree. I agree. That's been the
I
weird
like
part of that show in
the
later
haunted
seasons.
hotel part of it, but not
Yeah.
the vampire part.
Right.
And what really sucks is Evan Peters hasn't been on in a couple seasons.
Yeah,
That
that's
kinda
true.
blows.
Yeah,
All right, we're digressing. That was my
Okay.
fault, but
that's okay.
yeah. All right.
So Clark's still working on these goddamn lights. Just can't get them to go.
I titled this section "Christmas Lights Round 2000"
Yeah.
because it just keeps going.
And his wife comes out there, sympathetic. She's
Yeah,
very
she's
supportive.
trying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he just can't figure shit out. I also relate to this because when I did try to do like the Christmas lights and all, it was early in my marriage. Like I didn't have a lot of practical experience with house stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And figuring out that like, oh, I probably need to go buy extension cords and stuff that like I just didn't own as a single person
Right.
who wasn't in a house. So like when they eventually show the shots of like his setup and there's like 4,000, like
25,000
Yeah.
Italian twinkle lights.
Twinkle lights. Yeah.
so yeah, what he ended up doing was wiring everything back to the light
One
switch in his
outlet.
garage.
One outlet. Yeah.
One outlet.
Fucking
And-
fire hazard. That's my note.
Yeah. Oh my god, yes.
Yeah.
And so she accidentally turns it on and voila, everything kicks on. And it's so bright that the poor yuppie neighbors, they're drinking wine in bed, getting ready to get down to some fancy yuppie lovemaking. This light overtakes them in a very dramatic way.
It
Yeah.
shuts off all the power in Chicago.
It's like yeah, I know the auxiliary nuclear power had to be turned on.
That's such like an 80s thing to do
Yes,
in a movie.
definitely, definitely.
I want to just point this out though, that we talked about in previous movies like Back to the Future when there was an awesome car present. The coolest fucking car in this entire movie
Oh yes.
is that Continental, that baby blue
Yup,
Continental
baby
convertible
blue
they park out at the
Continental.
curb.
Yeah, I know.
Good
it's absolutely
Lord.
gorgeous. The big freaking side white walls and just
Yeah.
that
Yes.
whole car is absolutely.
With the suicide doors in the back.
Yep.
Oh, I want one of
yes.
those so bad.
Yeah, I saw that. It's so great.
That's like a dream car for me.
Yeah. No, I get it, man. That's a cool car.
I get it too. Yeah.
I want to be Johnny Drama.
That car's kind of, it steals the show when they show that car in the background.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of back and forth, of the light getting switched off and
Right.
getting switched back on, still, fussing with things. And eventually Clark sees it and thinks that he's solved it, by his unplugging and plugging of the same
Right.
receptacles outside.
And Hallelujah plays.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so it gets turned off again. He's calling the whole family out to sea because finally he did something good. And as everyone's coming out, it turns off, and he's fussing with it again. And he eventually gets so frustrated that he punches his Santa display.
Yes.
Yeah, he actually broke his finger doing that
Yeah.
in real life.
Which I totally believe because he lays into this thing.
That's why he kicked. That's why he kicked the rest of the display. Like
Yeah.
they kept shooting. He didn't stop, but he knew he did something to his finger, so he started kicking and kneeing things because
Yeah,
his
because he
finger
was pissed
broken.
off. Yeah.
The best part of the scene is when he just because he's kicking and punching, but then he just sort of slaps the antlers off the reindeer.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Ellen figures out at the same exact moment that he plugs them back in that it's the light switch.
Right.
And it comes on, and he's like a man possessed. Just looks crazy. Family comes out, and it's beautiful. It's a real moment for Clark, man.
Yeah.
Like his family's hugging him.
Oh, yeah, his
Yeah.
dad is so
It's the
happy.
greatest thing he's ever done in his life.
Love. He looks at his dad and he goes, "You taught me everything I know about exterior illumination." It's such a great line.
Meanwhile, the neighbors are crying. They're trying to
Blind.
scrub the
He
wine
falls
out
down
of
the
their carpet.
stairs.
Like close encounters happen at their house.
That was over the top for me. The husband next door falling down the stairs when the lights
I
turned
know.
off.
Yeah, I know.
He's rubbing it into her parents too, and they're don't want to hear it.
Yes. Exactly.
And guess who shows up at this point?
Woo!
Oh, everyone's favorite character,
Cousin Eddie.
Yep.
Cousin Eddie, which is one of Randy Quaid's most known roles for sure. And this was back when Randy Quaid was doing a lot of sort of iconic work in his
Before
career.
he went a little nuts.
Yeah, now Randy Quaid is oh boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's yeah,
Little out there.
definitely.
But yeah, he just shows up with his wife and his kids and his dog Snots.
Snots the dog. It's so great. Such a great name.
Their pride and joy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, look at her eyes. They're straight now. She's not cross-eyed anymore.
I know, that's great. He goes, yeah, it's weird how that happens. You fall down a well, her eyes cross. You got kicked by a mule and went straight.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. The way he says, I don't know.
Yeah. He said that he modeled Cousin Eddie on a guy that he grew up with.
In
Down
Texas,
to
yeah.
the tongue clicks. He said this guy was just like that, so he used him as a reference for Cousin Eddie. Yeah.
Now, Cousin Eddie, Randy Quaid, actually stars in everyone's favorite sequel, National Lampoon Christmas Vacation 2.
Oh, yeah.
I've
Cousin
never
Eddie's,
seen it. I refuse
Hawaiian
to
trip
watch
or
it.
whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Cousin Eddie's Island Adventure. It was
That's right.
it was a made-for-TV movie which brought back Randy Quaid and Miriam Flynn. And in this movie, they are stranded on an island in the South Pacific for the holidays.
And the Beverly D'Angelo wouldn't be in it because Chevy Chase wasn't going to be in it. And she's like, why would I be in it if he's not in it?
Yeah.
I don't know why she chose not to be in it. It has 11% approval rating on Rotten Tomatoes.
I queued up the line here real quick also, just so we get that perfect delivery.
Oh my gosh. Her eyes aren't crossed anymore.
That's something, ain't it? Huh? She falls in a well, eyes go cross. She gets kicked by a mule, they go back to normal. I don't know.
I don't know. Such a great
It
delivery.
is so great.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's hilarious. I also read, too, while I was doing research for this episode, that there's a website where you can buy a Cousin Eddie, whatever that thing is called, the Dickie.
The
Yeah,
hat.
the ticket,
Or no,
yeah.
you mean the the mock turtleneck thing
Mock
he wears.
turtleneck thing,
Yeah,
yeah.
the Dickie.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which wouldn't have been bad if he wasn't wearing a white shirt over it
I know.
and it wasn't black.
Yeah.
That's such a great wardrobe choice, like to show like this character's attempt at being fancy.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, it worked out so good.
Hey, his leisure suit, I mean, is
Oh
glorious.
my god!
And
Yes.
I actually went to my 6th grade graduation dance in a leisure suit that was just like that, except it was salmon colored.
Oh, you.
I think there's pictures floating around. I think my mom has them. Yeah,
I
my
was
mom
gonna
dressed
say.
me like that.
Find those pictures.
They're around. I'll dig them up. But
They're drinking
yeah,
out of the,
so
the Wally World mugs.
yes, that's so great when they're back in the
Yes.
house. Yeah. Oh, real quick though,
Absolutely.
one great line right when they agree to have the kids sleep in the house, and he whispers to Catherine, "Get the kids things. Don't forget the rubber sheets and the gerbils."
Yeah.
What the hell? Yeah.
Yeah, they're up to no good in that.
Exactly. Yeah.
So yeah, you
Now,
do get the
I don't know
nice.
if he means get the rubber sheets and gerbils for them for their sexual
No,
activities.
no. It's for the kids because they.
Or
pee
for
the
the
bed.
kids who are going to piss the bed.
Yeah, they
and
pee
they
the
have
bed.
pet gerbils.
Right. Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
But I think it could go either way with him.
Yeah,
I was
that's
gonna
very
say,
true.
I took it
That's
the
very
other way.
true.
It's like,
Yeah.
ugh, rubber sheets and gerbil. My God, what are you up to, man?
He's doing that Richard Gere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Snots is drinking the water from the tree, which
I
comes
know.
back to haunt them later because the tree
Yes.
dies out.
Yeah.
Now, no, if you notice, if you're playing along here and watching the film, the tree's much smaller now than it was
Yes.
earlier.
Yeah.
It's a much more reasonable size.
It's manners. Well, he trimmed it down a bit.
Yeah, he probably just trimmed it a little, make it fit better.
It's about 20 sizes smaller than it was before. So yeah, Cousin Eddie, and you mentioned the moose mug, the little Easter egg from the first Vacation movie. I have one of those,
Oh,
yeah?
yeah.
and it's always a special time when that thing comes out of the box. Signifying that Christmas is here.
Right.
It just seems like the most awkward cup. to drink
Exactly.
out
I
of.
was just gonna say that, Joe.
Oh, it's terrible. It's absolutely
Yeah,
terrible.
because
It's
the ear
pure-
you hold in one ear and the other one's got it. The other ear's probably hitting
Exactly.
you. Yeah.
And then the really big, dick-looking nose.
I know.
Yes, it's awful. It's
Yeah.
truly awful. It's reminiscent of when I was a kid. We used to drink Nestle Quick, out of those big aluminum cans, like the powder to make chocolate
Yeah.
milk.
Yeah. Yeah.
And there was a mail-in rebate thing where you get a cup of the Nestle Rabbit. It's like this plastic mug, and
Oh, yeah, I
you
remember
held
that.
the ears. I still have that too, man. It's just awful novelty. My house is nothing but novelty, drinkware.
That had to be the most unsanitary thing ever, because the chocolate milk we get in all the nooks and crannies of the rabbit, and just you could never clean it right.
No.
Yeah.
Oh, that
never.
sounds hideous.
Oh, it's terrible. And that powder really did, it was like asbestos. It just.
Yes, exactly. It coated it. Oh.
I got rid of most of my novelty drinks, but I still have the tiki, the tiki cup. It's a glass, but it's tiki.
That sounds pretty cool, man. I'm
Yeah.
into that.
Yep. Yep.
That's
All
the
right,
only one
so
I have.
I'm off on a whole other tangent. I apologize.
That's all right.
They're just playing catch up. Cousin Eddie and Clark, and Cousin Eddie sort of reveals to him that they're staying for a month or so,
It's out the eggnog.
which is great. The next day, we see Clark back in the office, and he's bringing a present to his boss, and it is the same size and shape as all of the other presents.
Yes, it's a pen set.
Yeah, it's a desk organizer thing.
Yeah. That's what it is.
And this also felt very relatable to me because when I worked in New Jersey, every year around Christmas time, people would bring gifts for the boss, and he was a Scotch guy, so everyone just brought him a bottle of Scotch, and you would see just lined up on his desk 7 identical shaped bags,
That's great.
And I tried to make a joke one year. I was like, "Oh man, it's like Christmas vacation. Remember
Yeah.
the scene? Remember?" And he just dead-eyed looked at me like,
Yeah.
Get me anyone. Get me someone. I'm waiting for them.
yeah."
There
Put it
aren't
over
as
there
many-
with the others.
Yeah, there aren't as many people like us as we think. That's the problem.
That's true. That's true.
Real quick, that's what happened when I moved up here. When I lived in New York, right, all my friends, the same sense of humor, the same likes in movies and movie genres and stuff. I moved up here, and especially when I started working in Providence, I love everybody in that office, but like none of them got any of my jokes or references to anything. You could mention the biggest movie star on the planet, and half the crew would go, "Who's that?"
Wait, you mean Mark Wahlberg?
Yeah, well, yeah, no, him they knew. But,
no, I mean that's what I'm saying. You like mentioned somebody else. Oh yeah, Mark Wahlberg. I know
exactly
him.
Right. Yeah. Did he ever work with Wahlberg?
Oh, Matt
Yeah.
Damon,
Exactly.
Ben Affleck.
Right. But yeah. Anyway, go ahead.
Are you poking fun at the greater Boston area?
He's
I
trying
would call
to.
it greater.
All right. Listen, the Florida guy is trying to make fun of Boston. That's hysterical.
Well, I'm going to be making fun of him Sunday when the Dolphins eliminate the Patriots.
And I'm right with you. You know that, buddy. I'm right there with you. Okay.
This weekend's going to be amazing because the Dolphins can do a couple things, which is awesome. They can eliminate the Patriots in the playoffs, and they can also guarantee the Patriots won't go over 500 this year.
Yes.
So if they win that game, those two things happen, and nothing will make me happier.
Why are the Dolphins like good now?
I have no idea.
What happened?
Well, they blew up the entire organization last year. They basically dismantled it down to the core, and then they just made a bunch of good moves, and for some reason, it's working.
Yep.
Plus, the coach is just he should win Coach of the Year. I can't see anyone else winning Coach of the Year except for him.
Yeah.
Wow.
What he's been managed to do with what he has is remarkable.
I agree.
Well, he's got nothing on Sledder of the Year, Clark Griswold.
Oh
Yes.
yeah. Which
Isn't it?
apparently we're back in Colorado because we're back in the mountains.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's true. That's true.
Back in old Colorado, and Clark puts his cereal varnish on his on his Captain America shield sled.
That is so great.
Which again, his more, as Doug said before, his more reasonable child son says like, "Has anyone ever done this on a sled before?"
Yeah.
And he's real dismissive. He's like, "Not that I know of." And I'm like,
Then the whole Cousin Eddie speech about scaling back the metal plate to plastic.
oh, Joe, I'm sure you had that queued up, man.
Yeah,
That's
come on.
currently what I'm doing.
All right.
Put none of that stuff on my sled, Clark. You know that metal plate in my head?
How can I forget?
I had to have it replaced because every time Catherine revved up the microwave, I'd piss my pants and forget who I was for a half hour or so. So over at the VA, they had to replace it with a plastic one, and it ain't as strong. So I don't know if I ought to go sailing down no hill with nothing between the ground and my brain but a piece of government plastic.
You really think it matters, Eddie?
Well, see, the plate runs right underneath my part here. And over here, it's, nothing. But here, if this gets dented, then my hair just ain't going to look right.
God, he's so good in this, man.
Such a great story. Like, it's so great the way he tells it. It's so great.
It's so perfect. And it makes the rest of the scene watchable because other than that, this scene is terrible.
Yeah.
He just gets
This
on the
scene-
sled and goes.
Although I will say, like, when he takes off, it's kind of hilarious.
Yeah, it is. It is. But it goes. It's funny. This whole movie's it's a little less than an hour and 40 long, but there's a lot of filler in this flick. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like, they got about an hour and 15 minutes worth of material, maybe, and they stretch it to an hour and 40, a little hour and 35.
Because we're going to watch
so.
3 minutes of him going down a hill and spinning in circles and
ending in a product placement for Walmart.
Yeah, which I didn't know Walmart existed back then, honestly.
Joe.
No, seriously, like, well, just to give you a heads up, there was no Walmarts in Miami till like the late 90s.
Wow.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't have Walmart, so I didn't even know what the fuck Walmart was. I'm like, what is this?
Yeah. Well, you know what?
We had, we had Kmart's and Targets, but no Walmarts.
Yeah, you know what? It's funny. We had Kmart. We didn't have Target. I might not have had a Walmart. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up to see when. Because, they started in the Midwest and spread from there. So
Yeah.
you might be right, too, even in the Northeast. I don't really know.
Yeah, I didn't know what Walmart was.
I know
And I
what
really
it is
didn't-
now. Oh,
Yeah,
boy.
When you
Yeah,
move to North
yeah.
Central Florida, you start seeing a bunch of Walmarts.
It's
Walmart's
ground
in
zero
Sweden.
for the Goddamn zombie apocalypse is what it is.
Yeah,
But I
that's
remember
true.
when the first Walmart in Dade County opened, and I think it was in Homestead, and that was like in 98 or 99.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, like I said, you could be right. It might not have been around in the 80s for me either. I don't really remember.
So Clark takes off on this sled in what is easily the most 80s feeling sequence in this movie. It's
Yeah.
like goofy music
Yep.
and just nonsensical stunt work. But it is funny when he takes off that they literally shoot a pyrotechnic through the snow.
Right. Right.
Yeah, that's the part that makes me mad.
Is that the one that rubs you the wrong way?
Yeah, like I'm like, this is stupid.
Yeah.
It's a little dumb.
I know. And that scene, it was filmed at 4:00 in the morning. It took about a week. They did it at some resort in Colorado. And they actually had multiple crew members that got hypothermia and breathing difficulties because it was up like 12,000 feet. They had to
Jesus.
helicopter them off for treatment. Yeah.
It was not worth it.
No, definitely not. A week to
man.
shoot that scene is just crazy. It was like 20 to 30 degrees below zero. And, yeah, definitely not worth the effort.
Well, we end up back at Clark's office. He's talking to the same coworker from earlier in the film, and we get the sense that the bonus that they usually get this time of year hasn't come yet. So he's getting a little nervous that he's in for this pool with this non-refundable
And
deposit.
it's like the stupidest model of a pool I've ever seen.
Yeah, I know.
First of all, the reason that it's stupid isn't what you're thinking I'm thinking it is. It's not because that the pool is just literally like a pool that could be any pool, but the diving board's on the shallow end of the pool.
Yeah.
Because the little place you walk in, which is the shallow end of the pool, is right next to the diving board.
Yeah.
Well, Clark has pools on the brain.
Yeah.
So
Apparently he's not a Floridian because a Floridian could tell you that's not how pools work.
in what way? I'm a Floridian, sort of.
You don't put the diving board in the shallow end of the pool.
Oh, no, of course.
In that way.
Speak for yourself, Joe. So he's having this sort of waking fantasy. Oh God, hiccups
Oh,
got
boy.
me good.
All right, we all
Is
right?
that what that was?
I don't know. It sounded like you squeezed a baby.
Or a cat. Maybe
Yeah,
a cat
that's
gets
true.
electrical wires.
That's true. Yeah.
It could be any of those things. No, I get the hiccups. Son of a bitch.
Uh-oh.
I'm gonna power through it though.
All right.
So he's fantasizing about this pool, and for some reason the whole family's there, which he hates. So he course corrects his fantasy, and they all disappear. Cousin Eddie disappears.
Kalikimaka is the thing you say.
And who do we have but the girl from the lingerie counter?
Yep,
Yeah,
something
Mary.
Scorsese is her name.
Mary's back. Yeah, she's not related, though.
I know.
And she starts.
When Eddie comes on the diving board in his Speedo with the wife beater tucked in, waving it out. But the diving board's not next to the ladder where you walk in the pool in this picture.
Yeah.
So she starts to disrobe in a very, very sexy sequence.
Except for when she turns around and she's on that drug called no acetol.
No,
At all.
that's unfair. Is that true? Are you
Yeah,
watching this right now?
I got it on the screen in front of me. There's no acetol.
Hey, I'm not complaining, man.
You would be if you were looking at this screen. I think Cousin Eddie might be wearing a thing with a wig on facing backwards.
Oh, jeez.
I thought you were going to say, I think Cousin Eddie has a better ass.
He might.
It was possible.
Honestly. He is a better ass.
So his fantasy gets interrupted right at the moment you don't want it to.
Well, especially by a little girl.
Yeah, exactly. So she comes into the room, and she's kind of hilarious in this moment.
Oh, it's great. Yeah.
And she's worried that she's not going to get anything from Santa Claus, and she's so nervous that she says she's shitting bricks.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. I should say shit.
We don't use that word. Shit and rocks.
Shitting rocks. So now Clark is now in a position where he's going to interject himself into their situation and talk to Cousin Eddie about, maybe getting them some presents and that. I apologize. I'm actually literally dying.
Wow.
I don't know what happened.
I'm just really happy they chose not to go the lowbrow comedy route and have him turn around and have like a boner or something.
Yeah, it's funny because I don't know if this was on purpose or not, but when the little girl comes walking in, and he's looking out the window, both of his hands are high up on the window frame, almost like they want his hands as far away from his junk as possible, so there is not even any chance of an innuendo of what he's doing when she walks in on him. You know?
I was so expecting him to turn around, big old boner sitting there.
That does sound like something they would have talked about in the writer's room. Like, hey, make sure his hands are visible the whole time.
Just the whole time. They were way up high. It was kind of funny.
So next morning, we get Clark looking out the window, and Cousin Eddie's there. And I don't know if you have this queued up or not, but
it's getting there.
Yeah.
It's, I want to say, like one of the most iconic moments in this movie, or the most quoted.
Even if you haven't seen the flick, you know this line. And the funny thing is, the line isn't what I thought it was. It's not exactly spoken like a lot of the T-shirts and other items that you see out there today, and it's not how I always pictured it in my head until I watched it again today. So I'll wait for Joe to finish queuing this up. So
this is like the "I am your father."
Here you go.
Merry Christmas! Dinner was full!
So I always thought it was just shitter's full, because if you look at all
he does say that.
He says the shitter was full.
No, that's the second time. The first time he says shitter's full.
No. The first time it's shitter was full. Second time it's shitter's full, I guess.
No,
he even said, because he says it to the neighbors, but he doesn't say
the neighbors. He says shitter was full. Hold on, let me get the first one queued up here.
Play it again.
Oh, we got our first showdown.
Yep. Eric, I'm right. Joe's wrong.
Hey, do either you guys know how to get rid of hiccups?
Anything I do never helps. I try to hold my breath, but none of it works. So you're screwed.
Ugh.
I mean, you could try to hold your breath for like 10 seconds, dude. See if that helps.
We're gonna give it a shot.
All right, here's the first time.
Aren't you having any breakfast?
I'm not in the mood.
What are you looking at?
Oh, the silent majesty of a winter's morn, clean, cool chill of the holiday air, and an asshole in his bathrobe emptying a chemical toilet into my sewer.
Shitter was full!
Thank you.
Yeah.
So he says the shitter was full.
Shitter was
Yep.
full.
So it's definitely it's definitely the "I am your father" thing where everybody thinks it's shitter's full because it's on all the merchandise. But again, I didn't catch it till today, and I replayed it like twice to make sure.
And he's doing it right next to the awesome ass Lincoln.
Yeah, I know.
Which is parked next to a fire hydrant, also.
Yeah, well, because I guarantee you that's Ellen's dad's car, and he doesn't give a shit about any fire hydrant.
Yeah. Which that fire hydrant might come into handy later.
Yeah. Oh, and I love when he really quick when Eddie does utter that line, and then Clark looks at Ellen and goes, "You check our shitters, honey." This is another great, Chevy Chase just delivery.
All right, so now we got Clark and Cousin Eddie shopping, and this is where Clark brings up,
At Walmart.
Yep, at Walmart.
Yeah, Walmart.
You can tell by the old Roy.
Which is hilarious because I think he starts with 2 bags of Purina in the cart, and then like a giant bag of old Roy on top of it.
Exactly. He also gets some Alpo cans.
Yeah.
So Clark brings up this idea of like, hey man, what's going on? We get the truth out of Cousin Eddie, which is that they live in in the RV. Oh God, it's killing me.
It sounds like a dog barking.
This is so great.
I know. It's like a.
It's
like a
not,
little,
but it is.
It's like a little canine yelp. So he tells him straight up, like, listen, it's family. I'm going to take care of you guys. I'm going to get something for the kids. And Cousin Eddie is just floored. Just, this is so unexpected. I can't believe this is happening. And then produces a list. And he's like, it's
alphabetized list.
Including something he wants to get for Clark.
Yeah.
Says, I want to get you something. See that right there?
Which is like the best insult to injury.
Yes, exactly.
Like, if it's not too much trouble.
Yeah, it's perfect Eddie.
Apparently, Cabbage Patch dolls were $31.97.
Yeah, which was a lot of damn money back then.
That's
Big
sounds
doll.
expensive.
I don't know if you know this or not, but Walmart's price is always in 7.
Yeah, that's true. I know.
It's to entice shoppers.
Right, it's a psychological reason. They've
Yeah.
definitely done the marketing research on that. So
And as I'm looking in the store here, every number ends in 7.
yeah.
I did work at the Wally World for a while.
Okay, yeah. I never had the pleasure. My oldest son worked at Walmart for a while, but yeah.
That's where I met my wife.
No.
All right, that's a very Florida story.
Yeah, actually, I did. She was working in the jewelry department, so she was fancy. And I was in furniture,
Okay.
which I use that word loosely when it comes to Walmart.
Well, yeah. You know what? I'll tell you what though. Walmart furniture is no better or worse than the low end IKEA stuff. Okay. So.
All right, we're back in business. I'm powering through.
Yeah.
All right, so we meet. We're back
Need
at the
some
house.
Old Roy?
I would really appreciate some Old Roy right now. Ugh. We meet.
I'm leaving all this in too.
Oh, you have to. You have to. We meet Uncle Lewis and Aunt Bethany. Aunt Bethany, played by an actress named Mae Questel, and
Yeah.
she was actually the voice of Betty Boop.
Yeah.
Yep.
Which I did not know, but now I can hear it. Like when I watch this movie, I can hear it.
Yes. You can absolutely hear it. Yeah, it's cool. They wanted them to be like George Burns and Gracie Allen, and they actually tried to get
Burns.
Yeah, they tried to get George Burns for the role, but he didn't want to do it. But you can definitely see it. And like William Hickey, who plays Uncle Lewis, is one of my favorite character actors. And it's funny because, believe it or not, he was only 60 when he filmed this movie.
Yeah.
Oh,
he
wow.
looked
Because
way
that's
older.
always been his thing. He's always looked way older than his actual age. He's passed away now. I think he passed like 20 years ago. But
He looks like he could be Dennis Farina's dad.
no, you're 100% right.
Yeah.
But he always plays the same dude. Like he plays the same character in every role, but it's great because it's a perfect character.
I
And
need
yeah,
a
he's-
ticket to Las Cruces.
Yeah. But yeah, he was only 60. And also on that vein, Diane Ladd, who plays Clark's mom, she's only 8 years older than Chevy Chase.
Yeah.
So, it's just, but that's movie magic. That's why we're doing this show. So,
Yeah, I mean, it's not as bad as Tommy being like 60
The what?
from Goodfellas.
Oh, all right. Yeah.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
you're
yeah.
right. That's a stretch. Yeah.
Yeah, that was the biggest stretch.
So
Yeah.
Aunt Bethany brings some gifts, and one of which is her cat.
In a box.
It's so great.
This one's meowing.
This one's me. The other
I know.
one is lime jello,
The
With cat
Langella.
food in it.
Yeah.
which
just-
Uncle Eddie licks off of the finger. Just terrible.
It just her lines they used to establish her lunacy are hysterical. She goes, "Oh no, did I break wind?" And Lewis goes, "Did you clear the room?" Then no. And then oh, is Rusty still in the Navy?
Still the Navy.
It's just so great. It's just to absolutely establish her complete lunacy. So yeah,
Yeah.
this box is meowing.
Yeah. This one's dripping.
Yeah, I know.
So this leads us into the big Christmas dinner.
The dinner,
with
the dinner.
this-
See, that's also classic.
the beautiful looking turkey. And what was the story with the turkey? Was it
Catherine? It was Catherine made it.
Catherine made the turkey? Okay.
She put it in too soon. She says, Eddie, I told you we put it in too soon, too early. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we get the blessing.
Well, Grace. No, Grace died 30 years ago.
I know, say Grace.
The blessing.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
And he stands up. And
he stands up
over his heart.
I know.
And they all start saying it with her.
Yep. They're rolling right along.
That's fucking great.
That's another one of those like holiday traditions. Someone every year has to do the pledge.
Yep.
At an inappropriate time.
Yep.
So we cut into the turkey, and what a cool practical effect this is, man.
It was good, yeah.
This movie had a serious budget, I want to say.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
it had
it
a Ghostbusters level budget for the late 80s.
Yeah.
And that's like a fully animatronic, like disgusting dry turkey.
It almost
I don't
opened
understand.
up like the Thing, like the guy's chest in the Thing when he's giving the CPR.
Where did the meat go?
I know, it just dried up, dude.
I mean, it would be dry, but it wouldn't disappear.
Oh, it's gone.
All right.
And the outside would be way darker.
Are we looking for realism right now, Joe?
I am.
No, see the comedy is that it looks so good on the outside.
Yes, exactly.
And so he's so excited to cut into this thing, and then it's just a dry husk.
Oh, look, here's the heart.
Yeah. Just a little tough.
So the scene following this, where they're all trying to like power through this dinner, and the chewing.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, just the
I don't know.
silverware clanking on the plates, and they're all.
And then Ellen throws the food across the off her fork, and acts like she ate it.
Yes.
Yeah, something about Clark Griswold chewing this turkey really gets me.
Oh, he's gnawing at it. Yeah.
And they have these like weird like asparagus like things on the table, like these asparagus towers that no one's eating. They're just there for like looks.
Asparagus towers.
They're like centerpieces made out of asparagus with like olives on them.
Oh no, that sounds like some 1950s. Like, you ever look at those old recipes or those old like print ads of like everything's made of gelatin?
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Like, was that really as prevalent as it seems? Because it's like a lot of vegetables and gelatin.
It was prevalent at my grandma's house. Yeah.
Was it?
Then Eddie takes a bite out of the sweet potatoes and then decides
I
he
know.
likes it, so slops it on his
big,
plate.
gigantic amount of it on the spoon, and then he just.
Like if he didn't like it, he was gonna stick it back.
I know exactly.
And the dog under the table.
Oh yeah, he's yakking on a bone.
Yeah. Oh, he got it up.
Well, he is.
Well, maybe
he is
if you didn't feed him off the table.
I know. Yeah. No,
He probably just nosing around the trash.
You know, he is a Mississippi leghound after all.
You might have just let him finish.
Yeah.
Now, you also notice at the table Eddie's son Rocky. Another random piece of trivia: does not speak in this film for some reason.
Yeah.
They would have had to pay him or something, or would have violated child labor laws or something.
He did. I think he said one word at the end when the sewage plant is glowing, but I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember, but yeah.
And while they're eating dinner, there's another member of the household that's also trying to eat something.
Yes.
Aunt Bethany's cat is carefully biting the wires to the Christmas tree lights and pulling them underneath the chair, the recliner in the living room. At which point it actually unplugs the lights, and while Clark is retrieving some stogies from the living room, he notices the Christmas tree lights are out.
Now, this whole cat death deal, I remember reading that they were arguing about whether it should be in the movie or not. Like that it would be too offensive to straight up murder this cat.
Yeah.
And I'm glad they decided to leave it in, because it's pretty funny.
Oh, definitely.
yeah.
It's funny.
It's funny that Eddie wants to fumigate the chair and keeps the chair.
I know.
You know what I mean?
But the burn mark on the carpet in the shape of
In
the
the shape
cat.
of
Isn't it
cat.
great with the fur? Yeah.
Yeah. That's like the one scene like everybody knows from this movie.
Yeah.
What, the cat
Yeah.
scene? Yeah, I think that's
Yeah.
probably... Yeah, that and Shitter's Full seem to have like really permeated
Yes.
the culture, you know? So, yeah. I'm looking at the scene now, actually. That leisure suit.
Yeah, I was just thinking of the like
That's-
baby blue.
That's actually where I made the note to mention my leisure suit, because that's where you see it in all its glory. That
Yeah.
scene. All right. It is absolutely stunning. Okay.
Yeah, it's like powder blue,
Powder
white,
blue.
patent
Yep.
leather shoes.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah.
Wow. That's a strong look, man.
Smells like burnt pussy cat.
All right, so we got stogies now for
Yeah.
Uncle Lewis,
Uncle Lewis has his stogies.
and as Joe mentioned earlier, the dog drank all the water out of the tree, which apparently dried it to the extent that it was a tinderbox waiting to explode. So Lewis's stogie, I guess, just lights the fuse, man, and this tree goes up in flames, along with Uncle Lewis. Like,
Yeah.
you know, Clark has to put this old man out.
What I don't get is what was he like thinking to doing with the match anyways? Was he just gonna throw the match on the floor and burn
He
the fucking
didn't
house
care.
down?
It's Uncle Lewis. He doesn't give a shit. He's like the honey badger. Honey badger don't care. Uncle
Yeah, I
Lewis
guess
doesn't
so.
care, man.
So the tree's gone. It's just another blow against Clark's Christmas.
Exactly.
To be almost immediately followed by another one. So,
Yes.
so there's a knock at the door, and I don't know why. Again, it's these little moments in this movie that crack me up. When he
Yes.
opens the door, the guy who's standing there still holding the door knocker with the wreath attached
Yeah.
to it
Rips it right off the
rips
door.
it right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's
Yeah,
like,
I was supposed to deliver this yesterday, but I got lost somehow.
Yeah, it fell between the seats, so I'm bringing it today. It was like he was told to say that. Did you catch the name of the messenger service? It's called Speedball.
people. And I love the guy too. I don't know who the actor is. He's almost like a low rent Rick Moranis.
I was gonna say he's a Rick
100%.
Moranis type.
Exactly.
Like when they
Exactly.
said that, it's like the script said Rick Moranis type.
He was
Yeah.
Lewis. Yeah, definitely.
Because
Well,
when
I'm glad
he
you said
opens
that
the
because that
door,
just like that literally just like solidified my entire thoughts on this entire scene.
yeah, 100%, man. I love
mean,
when he
Rick was
opens
a
the
little
door and he's like,
busy
"I
to
have
do it."
something for Grisman." Like, what? So finally, we get the bonus check. This is what he's been waiting for the whole movie. You know, he wants to make this big reveal in front of his family. We're putting a swimming pool in. I wasn't going to tell you, but this is so exciting. And what is the final straw?
And if we have enough money, we're gonna fly you all back in for the dedication.
Yeah, which is crazy.
Now you know I can't swim, Clark. Yeah, I know.
Yes,
Yeah,
I
I
know.
Yeah.
Like, this is his moment. He's like, yes.
Exactly.
Drawing your ass.
So,
Oh wait, I'm sorry. I'm just looking this up. So the actor plays the delivery boy. His name is Keith McEnany. He has been in like 600 things. He's
Oh,
working to
jeez.
this day. He's a character actor who's been in a shit ton of things that you probably saw and never put two and two together.
wow.
But like it goes back to the mid 80s all the way to today. So good for him.
He's the Walmart Rick Moranis.
Yeah.
I was
good
going to
for
say,
him.
I'm sorry I called you a low-rent Rick Moranis. I
Yeah.
apologize.
Faded
Yeah.
glory.
So anyway, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, so like I said, we get that final blow, which is the bonus check is not a bonus check. It is the Jelly of the Month Club. And but what, you know, to be fair, it's the gift that keeps on giving all year long.
Yeah, isn't that great? Just the lines. It's like Ellen's dad is like, "What is it? A letter confirming your reservation in the house?" Like all these things are just digging. You can just see each one is pushing the knife further into his freaking stomach. It's awful, you know.
Yeah. And even his wife trying to be supportive. She's
Yes.
like, "Oh, what is it? Is it bigger than you
Bigger
thought?"
than you expected.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
this is the final nail in his coffin here, and this really sends him over the edge, in a very hilarious way. Joe, do you have any of this rant queued up?
And I want to look him straight in the eye, and I want to tell him what a cheap, lying, no-good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating, inbred, overstuffed, ignorant, blood-sucking, dog-kissing, brainless, dickless, hopeless, heartless, fat-ass, bug-eyed, stiff-legged, spotty-lipped, worm-headed sack of monkey shit he is!
That's
So
about his boss.
So Joe, did you do your homework? Do you know how they did this?
They put cue cards on the people
Yep.
standing in front of him where he could look around and read the insults off of
Like
them.
they had like an adjective. Each one of them had a different adjective, and he
Yeah,
ad-libbed.
hanging
He
on that.
ad-libbed
He
based on the
ad-libbed it.
adjectives, but he put
Yeah.
all that together on his own just by looking at a key word on each of the cue cards. That's so cool.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I thought that was great.
Now, we read that too, my wife and I, before we started this movie, and I will say to Chevy Chase's credit, even though you can kind of see him reading in some of this,
Yes.
the way he puts it all together and how animated he is, it's as good as it could be.
Oh,
he
absolutely.
has-
You could say he was just looking at all of them when he was. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
you could pass it off as just saying he was eyeballing everybody in the room as he was ranting. But yeah,
He
I
has
agree.
an old-ass computer sitting behind him, too, in that scene.
Oh yeah.
Oh, does he?
I
No,
can't
that
tell
was
what
brand
it
new
is.
back then. It was really state of the art.
That was top of the line, man.
I had
It's
one.
square and gray.
I had one.
All right, so now Clark is off his rocker, man. In the very next scene, he comes out of his garage with the chainsaw.
That was so
Yeah.
great.
It's just like, just standing there revving it. Like,
I know.
Well, he makes a Christmas wish though before this. He wishes his boss was there so he could tell him that line of expletives.
Right.
That's true.
Right.
And Cousin Eddie
before
gets a
he
little
comes-
twinkle in his eye.
And because before he comes out of the garage, you see Cousin Eddie's RV take off.
That's
Pulling off,
correct.
yep.
That's
Yep.
correct. So his son tries to come out to the driveway and talk him down, and literally fears for his life.
Yeah.
Says, good talk, Dad. Clark cuts a pine tree down from the front of his house, which, of course,
Also too big.
Coincides perfectly with the conversation about
having a Christmas tree. And where
If
would
you're
we
a
get
yuppie.
one this late on Christmas Eve? At the neighbor's house, of course. Crashes through their window. And these poor people, like I said, I know they're supposed to be like the assholes
Yeah.
of this movie, but my God, like the
Well, they do
punishment
have
just
a whole picture of Margarita sitting on their table amidst cheese and what looks like some kind of strawberry.
Yes. All very yuppie stuff.
Yeah.
that was a precursor to the charcuterie board.
Yeah,
my friend.
exactly.
With pendulum lights hanging down.
Yeah, come on, man. Listen, they work hard, they play hard. A little cheese. Come on. So we're back in Clark's house, and he's now dressed like Santa, still with the chainsaw. But he's now like on this level of like everything's fine, like everything's great.
Yeah,
Like he's
yeah.
talking to his wife, like, what's wrong with you? And with the chainsaw still in his hand, and he's going down the stairs, the banister is loose when he grabs it. So he decides, you know what? I'm just gonna chop this thing off.
Yeah. That's a nod to It's a Wonderful Life, apparently, because there was, I forget what it's called, that part of the banister, but there's a problem that he has with it, and It's a Wonderful Life as well. So
Yeah,
Oh,
but
see, I
I
didn't
like how
even-
you hear it roll down the stairs like doom, doom, doom.
yeah, I
Going
love,
upstairs.
I love his line to Ellen. He goes, "I didn't go berserk. I simply solved the problem."
Yeah.
When he brings the tree,
Like, yeah, we needed a tree.
right?
Or all the lots were closed.
So now Clark's putting the presents under the trees, dressed as Santa. Things are starting to get back to normal. Everyone's
you hear
hanging
that?
out. And yes, did you hear that? Now, Aunt Bethany, the I want to say oldest and most senile of the bunch, hears a noise.
She's the first one. It's so great.
Just picks up on this right away. It's like a funny little scratching
High-pitched.
sound.
Yeah.
and it ends up being a squirrel in
And
the tree.
well, what does Uncle Lewis say to her? You couldn't hear a dump truck driver through a nitroglycerin truck.
So this
So
squirrel,
Uncle Lewis.
this is another little interesting piece of trivia I found. They trained a squirrel for months to
Really?
be filmed for this sequence. They had like a trained squirrel, and it died the day before they were to film it.
Oh, no.
So they had to use an untrained squirrel for this scene. And apparently, what you're seeing, like the frenetic nature of this sequence, was real because they couldn't control this.
I love it.
What was basically a wild squirrel.
I gotta say that it's based on their reactions. It's like there was a friggin' mountain lion loose in there.
I know, like,
not a
it's like a
squirrel.
squirrel.
I mean, they were like crazed over this squirrel. It's a friggin' squirrel.
I was wondering the same thing. I'm like, since when are squirrels like scary?
Yeah, they were nuts about it. It's
My favorite
hysterical,
part-
though. It's absolutely hysterical. But
I like that his mother faints and is just laying in the middle of the living room for this whole scene.
you know, Clark looks at her. Mom, don't move. She's unconscious. So great.
Oh my god, I almost forgot about that, but yeah, that makes the scene.
And then, of
Mom,
course,
don't
Snot
move.
chases it around the house.
Yeah, but even before that, when Clark goes, wait, let's get Eddie to go after it. Doesn't he eat those things? Yeah, not since he
anymore.
found out they're high in cholesterol.
So Clark decides he's going to go after it with his coat and bash it. And,
With the hammer.
and his dad looks at him like it's a war movie, you know, like he's leaving the trenches, and he's like, "I'll go with you."
Yeah.
Squirrel ends up on Clark's back. I want to say this is like an effect. This can't be real.
Oh, it's got to be a
Oh
fake
no, that
squirrel.
was definitely a stuffed
Yeah.
squirrel. There's no question. It was, yeah.
So where all this budget
Funny.
went to is the fake turkey and the fake squirrel.
Yeah.
And so like you said, Snot's chasing the squirrel through the house, destroying everything. Antics, 80s, just
Yeah.
mwah.
Yeah.
I'm
it's
telling
like
you right now, you need to go over there and punch him right in his face.
And you know what? I don't blame her, man. Like, my God, they've been through a lot with this.
Yeah,
This neighbor.
yeah.
So yes, she is asking her husband, please go over there and deal with this guy once and for all. And he's just not man enough to do it. So she takes matters into her own hands and marches over to the Griswold house. Just as the dog is chasing the squirrel, and Clark opens the door, and as if her day wasn't shitty enough, she's now probably had rabies and
Yeah.
what is that, a Rottweiler?
Yeah.
Well, it's a
Rottweiler.
Mississippi Lake Hound.
Mississippi
Lake
Lake Hound. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot
And you
the
know
breed.
it had to let, she had to let it finish.
That's why she was so pissed.
But it's so
when she
great
comes
when
back home.
right when the squirrel jumps on her, Clark, it doesn't even phase him. He goes, "Gone," closes the door.
Well, but she became vice president. So
Yeah, that's very true. Very true.
So this was also kind of the last straw for Clark's family, and they
Oh,
decide, like, we just, we're gonna call it. We're gonna get out of here. This Christmas is effed out, as they say. And Clark, now again, Joe, there's a lot of pressure, but do you have Clark's rant here?
just
I
about
think
there.
the wheels are spinning. He's gonna have it.
He's
for
trying.
us.
He's trying.
How's the hiccups?
They're actually gone. I don't know what I did.
Excellent. All right, that's good.
I swallowed some backwash from my beer earlier. Maybe that did the trick.
That's all it takes. Exactly. Exactly.
All
So-
righty, here we go.
All right, fire it up.
Sure you know what it's about. Honey, let me tell you.
Where do you think you're going?
See,
Nobody's leaving. Nobody's walking out on this fun old-fashioned family Christmas. No, we're all in this together. This is a full-blown 4-alarm holiday emergency here. We're gonna press on, and we're gonna have the happiest Christmas since Bing Crosby tap danced with Danny fucking Kaye. And when Santa squeezes his fat white ass down that chimney tonight, he's gonna find the jolliest bunch of assholes this side of the nut house.
That is so great. It is so classic. Oh god damn.
You can tell it's escalating because he said fucking.
Yeah. Well, that's the one fucking they were allowed in the PG-13. He said
Yeah.
it then. So that was it.
Bing
Yeah.
Crosby tap dance with Danny fucking Kaye. I
fucking
want that
Kaye.
crocheted on a sweater.
I know. Yes. Talk about an ugly Christmas sweater. That'd be the best. I And Art, the father-in-law, looks at him and goes, "You're goofy, Art. Don't piss me off."
So we get a nice tender family moment after this. Clark's dad is trying to talk him down, saying, "Look,
Yeah.
man, the holidays are hard. I had tough Christmases. You know, I think he says like I got through with Jack Daniels,
Yeah, he does.
Yes. Yeah.
and it you know it meant a lot to Clark in this moment. Like I said, it's so family centric. I think it's what he needed to hear was that it's not always easy, and it is a challenge to try to make this perfect memory happen for your family. So he's able to sort of let go a little bit, move on, and he's passed the torch of reading "Twas the Night Before Christmas" to his family as a tradition that his father did for him. So things really do get sort of back to normal, and it's it's a heartwarming moment. Even Clark's mother-in-law is smiling, like it's a very tender scene until Cousin Eddie comes back.
Oh yeah, with the big red bow wrapped around Shirley.
Yeah, with the
And a
gift.
dog chain tying his hands and his legs together.
Yeah.
And he's so pleased with himself because, in his mind, this is what Clark really wants. I mean, he said so himself, right? So he's got a shit-eating grin on his face, like, "Hey, look what I got." And we get, I hate to say Bill Murray's brother, since
Brian Doyle Murray.
Brian
Doyle Murray.
Doyle Murray. There
Oh,
it is.
Doyle rules.
Oh, Doyle rules. And so, of course, his wife is calling the cops, saying, like, this big, bulging, leisure suit-wearing man abducted my husband.
A huge, beastly, bulging man.
Yeah.
And, it's a big misunderstanding. Clark, he sees what happened. I think he says, my cousin Eddie's heart is bigger than his brain, basically.
Well, thank you for the compliment.
I know, yeah. He was so happy to hear that.
Yeah.
But he does get to tell his boss, "I'm sorry this happened, but it's really shitty that you did this. When people depend on these Christmas bonuses as part of their salary, you just sweep the rug out from under them, and it was the perfect opportunity for this man to be put on the spot because the whole family is staring at him in disapproval, like you ruined Christmas,
Yep.
and his heart grows 3 sizes, and he has a sort of realization that these aren't just cogs in a machine. These are people that work for me, and he agrees that he's not going to press charges, and he's going to give him his bonus back plus 20%, which is huge, man.
That's
And
generous.
everyone starts celebrating.
Yeah.
That's correct. Everyone begins to celebrate until the SWAT team arrives.
Yeah.
They come from everywhere.
Which is like the perfect end cap to a Christmas movie. It's the SWAT
Yeah.
team raiding the house.
Exactly.
And the neighbor's house. Like I said,
Yes.
she's been through enough, man. She just got ate up by the squirrel and the dog. She punched her husband in the face for not being a man. And
Go away! You're gonna have to break this door down if you want to get in here.
and sure enough.
Yeah.
Break the door down.
So the SWAT team comes in, and let's see if I can. I was looking in this scene to see if who's the actor who plays the cop in Family Matters and Die Hard and every
Reginald
movie
Bell
from the
Johnson.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
No,
looking for
I
him
know
in the
he
scene.
wasn't. Yeah, he wasn't in this one. It would have been cool if he was.
I was
It's the-
I was half expecting him to be the guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, but the cop is he's in something else that he plays.
Yeah.
a cop in.
Yeah. He's been in a bunch of stuff. Yeah. Good character actor. Yeah.
So the cops roll in, guns drawn, and probably the funniest part of the scene is when everyone freezes.
She grabs his dick.
Yeah,
That was ad libbed.
was it really?
Yeah, she did that. She did that for the hell of it to see if it would make it into the movie, and she was thrilled it did.
Yeah. They only did that on one of the takes.
Right. Right.
Oh wow, it's funny because she takes the hand away to shake hands.
Shake hands.
Yeah, and then
Puts
puts
it
her
right back.
right back.
Yep.
Grabbing the Yule log.
Yeah. I mean, that goes back to her line just a little bit earlier. I'm sorry, this is our family's first kidnapping. Which is a reference to the first movie where she says, this is our first gun.
That's right. She does say it's her first gun. And I guess technically this would be their second kidnapping.
Yeah, that's true. She was wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's revealed to the cops that it's a big misunderstanding, and the reason this happened in the first place is because he got rid of Christmas bonuses. His wife, is disapproves, and even the chief of police is like basically calling him an asshole.
If I had a rubber hose.
Yeah. Like, what a strong statement.
I know. Exactly.
But all is forgiven. So, in the next moments, the kids see something in the night sky, and look, it's Santa, and the family comes out to look up at the sky, and you get your warm, fuzzy moment where Clark says, no, that's not Santa, that's the, what does he call it? The Christmas
treatment plant. Oh, the Christmas star.
Yeah, and talking about the true meaning of Christmas and all of that. And yes, you're correct. It isn't the Christmas star. It's actually the light on top of the
Uncle
sewage
Lewis
treatment.
screams that. It's the sewage treatment plant.
Which is perfect.
I know.
And of course, that's a light bulb because Clark remembers all the sewage that was dumped into his gutters and stuff by his cousin Eddie. And so he tries to stop the stogie that Lewis throws from hitting it, and you get this massive explosion.
Yeah.
In his rocket.
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus decoration into the sky, and Aunt Bethany starts singing the Star Spangled Banner.
Yeah. Oh, say, can you see?
Yeah, and then she ends it with another one that lives in our house forever. Play ball.
Play ball.
We always yell that one at inopportune times. It's perfect. Play ball.
And aside from a little celebrating, that's really the bulk of the movie.
Yeah, but it's funny because Clark's last line does sum up his intention for the whole movie. It was just to make it nice for the family. He just says, I did it. And, as crazy as it got, that was his whole goal, was just to make Christmas nice for everyone. And he finally did it, and he was happy.
Yeah. I mean, you could argue that he had other goals, like maybe cheating on his wife or
that's
murdering
just,
his neighbors.
That's just a side quest. That's all that is. Okay?
Get in the swimming pool.
Exactly. That's just a side quest.
So that is it for Christmas Vacation.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a fun flick, man. Just, like I said, doesn't feel like this time of year without it.
Dumb fun. Can't beat that.
Dumb fun. So, I don't know. You want to jump right into ratings?
Yeah, sure.
Any final thoughts on this one?
Yeah, you summed it up. I mean, dumb fun. Yeah. It's a tradition. It holds up. I'll go first with the ratings and tie it in. I mean, it holds up well for me. There's really nothing in it that isn't still funny to me to this day. So, I mean, that's definitely a telltale sign of a good, a movie with legs. So, it is something that in one form or another we'll watch every year. I'll either flipping channels and I see it, or pop it in, the Blu-ray and watch it or whatever. It means a lot to me. So, again, based on the way I categorize my ratings by genre, so as Christmas movies and comedies, this is definitely up there. But I will give it a solid 4 out of 5 because it fits that bill. It's a rewatchable movie for me every year.
Nice. Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you for all the same reasons. I think I would go in at like a 3.8 out of 5. just because the only strike against it I have at this point, and it's a me problem. I've seen this movie so many times.
Yeah.
It's a good thing and a bad thing.
You need to take a vacation from it, ha ha ha, and then pick it up in a couple of years, and it'll come.
No,
back
but
for
it's
you.
true. When you fall into that, there's certain movies where it doesn't matter, I guess, but there are some where when you know every line and when it's coming, you do need to step away. So I'm at that point with this movie where it's like, it's like, I don't know. But I still love it, and yeah, I think a 3.8 is still a solid rating for it. It's still funny, and I find new things about it that are funny that maybe I didn't catch, when I was 10 years younger than I am now, and so on and so forth. So
Yep.
Yeah, I'm kind of on board with you guys. It's a good movie. It's got a high rewatchability factor to it. There's some continuity stuff I'd like cleaned up, but it is what it is for being the 80s, and there's some corny parts that I don't personally find necessary, but I get what they were doing. When it comes to Christmas movies, though, I mean, it's definitely something you want to watch, but it's probably not even in my top 5 Christmas movies, so I'm going to go a little lower on it and give it a 3.5 probably.
Mm-hmm. That works. That's why we watch the movies, and that's why we talk about them,
Yeah.
Listen, it's no Jingle All the Way.
It's no Bad Santa.
Oh, I hate that movie.
Which one, Bad Santa or Jingle All the Way?
Jingle All the Way.
I love that movie because it's the worst movie.
Yeah.
See, I'm going with a Bad Santa or an 8 Crazy Nights, which isn't even a Christmas movie. It's a Hanukkah movie, but it takes place during Christmas.
Yeah, that still counts.
I can't stomach that one either. I'm
Oh,
not
I
a big
love
Adam
it.
Sandler fan, so.
See, I grew up. See, your Saturday Night Live probably was, Belushi and Chevy Chase. My Saturday Night Live was Will Ferrell and Adam Sandler and David Spade.
Yeah, well, I love 2 out of those 3. But I don't, here's the thing. I don't dislike Sandler. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of his movies that I still love.
Oh, there's a lot of them I hate too. Though.
But I just
Grown Ups is trash, but Billy Madison's amazing.
Well, no, exactly. So the older stuff definitely.
Yeah,
is still
8
there
Crazy
for
Nights
me.
falls right in the middle.
Yeah, but I don't know. I see. Here's the thing too, real quick. I'm not as you're a huge animation fan, where I'm not, and,
I
and
love
that has a
dirty
lot
animation,
to do with
like
it. For
filthy
me.
animation.
Right.
Where the guys in the thing, I went down the hill, and then the reindeer, he's covered in shit because of the porta potty, and then the reindeers lick him clean, and they have shit in their teeth. That makes me fucking die laughing. Because it's so shitty humor.
Yeah.
Pun, literally.
Literally shitty humor. So.
I've been I rewatched all of Big Mouth again when the new season came out, and I just love that show.
Yeah,
that is a good one, man.
Yeah.
Well, Doug, I'll tell you why I like Jingle All the Way, because it's such a terrible movie, and towards the end of it, there's literally a moment where this little boy's father is an Austrian bodybuilder, right? And the only Austrian bodybuilder in this small town where they live. And he's dressed up like the kid's favorite superhero at the end of the movie. But he's got a sort of mask on, kinda, that covers, it's basically sunglasses. And this kid has no idea it's his dad, right? Which is bonkers.
Yeah.
But then he's mic'd up too, so then he talks to his kid and he goes, Jamie! And still this kid has no idea that it's his dad. He's just like, it's Turbo Man, he knows my name.
Oh, man.
These are the reasons why I love that movie so much.
No, I get it.
It's like Mystery Science Theater,
Here's what we need to know. What side of the Elf line do you fall on?
Oh, I love Elf.
I love Elf.
I hate Elf.
See, that's top 5 for me.
No, that's a garbage movie for me.
That's top 5 for me.
That's one of the 2 Will Ferrell movies I can't stomach. That and the stupid soccer one.
Oh, no, the soccer one's awful. I mean, that's a horrible
Elf
movie.
falls into the same category as that for me.
Oh, I don't know.
See, I like Elf because it's like a love letter to Rankin Bass, like those old, stop motion movies.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
no, because those are terrible movies. And I mean terrible in the best way. Like the old Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
Yeah, you don't like
See, those I like because they're they're so messed up. Like they are.
There's some dark shit in there. That
Yeah,
movie
they're
scared the
dark.
shit out of me as a kid. Now you got to obviously I saw that like as a kid. It scared the shit out of me every year, but I could not watch it. I had to watch it every year. But
See,
yeah,
to
that's
me,
a
Elf is
messed
just
up.
way
That's
too
a messed
corny.
up show, man.
I relate to that, Doug. Ask me what the scariest movie in the world is, and I'm going to tell you it's E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Because I saw it when I was a kid.
I feel like we had this discussion. Oh no, was that Tony that we had the discussion with about riding the ride at Universal Studios?
Yeah, he's afraid of E.T. too, which is incredible to me. I
And,
rode
like,
that ride.
you could put your name in, and they'd be like, "Hey, phone home, Eric."
Yeah, but they didn't tell me that was going to happen, Joe. So I went on this ride.
Man.
The park was closing, okay? I'm with my older cousin who tormented me throughout childhood about this ET thing. He takes me on a ride against my better judgment, and there's no one in there. It's empty. So we're walking through what's essentially the goddamn forest.
Yeah,
full
I
of
love the
fog.
queue for that. The queue for that ride was the best.
No, the spookier than anything I've ever seen in my life.
Oh, I loved it.
We make our way through that nightmare maze and end up in a line, and a lady says, "Hey, what's your name?" And say my name, and then we get on a bicycle, and E.T.'s on the bicycle with me in front of
You
me.
got on a quadcycle.
Yeah, he's in a milk crate, and
Yep.
I'm leaning back as far as I can in this seat because I don't want to be near it. We go on this fucking nightmare journey through the sky. We end up on his planet with baby ETs. I felt like I was on an acid trip, okay? And then at the end of this terrifying ride, he's waiting for me at the end, and he says, you know what he says, Joe? He says, "Eric."
Yeah.
Now, I didn't know that was going to happen. So I thought I was, like, crossing over to the other side. Like,
Oh, that's
See,
great.
because we used to go on like all of our school field trips there. I mean, I went there all the time anyways, but we'd also go on our school field trips there and shit. And we'd always make it be like, "Asshole, fuck face."
Of course.
Yeah, that's the
good old
move.
days.
I wouldn't have
And-
given them my real name if I knew he was going to speak it to me.
And then you get off that ride and go right back on Back to the Future again for like the 8th time.
Oh, yeah, that was the ride.
Yeah.
Well, we're going long here. We're on a side track, but we'll hit our plugs before we leave for the evening. I guess I'll start artofericpabone.com. Go there, look at my nerd stuff, Star Wars, Mandalorian, 80s, Back to the Future. Any of the stuff that I'm into, I usually draw, and I have prints, current, years past, available for purchase. If you need a commission, once the holidays are over, hit me up, because I'm full up, man. So January, I'm your guy.
Yeah, I'm actually wearing an Art of Eric Pabone shirt right now.
Nice. Which one are you wearing, Joe?
The Masters of the Cinematic Universe. I just thought it was appropriate.
You mean to tell me that our show has a T-shirt that you can buy, dear listener?
I
Oh,
proudly
yeah.
have one too.
Nice, man.
And I'm
That's
wearing
awesome.
it currently while we're recording. I just sent you a picture of it so you know I'm not bullshitting you.
Oh, yeah. We have evidence.
Yep. I also have the Just Surprise Me Futurama shirt that you designed for us.
Nice.
For my other podcast, Just Surprise Me, which Doug is pretty much a permanent fixture on that show too. It seems like.
I'm having fun.
I consider
Yeah.
Doug just a host at this point of
He's
Just
like
Surprise
the other Beatle that no one ever talks about.
Me. The other
But everybody loves.
Yeah,
Maybe
Yoko.
That's the thing. Yeah, Yoko. Thanks so fucking much. Nice.
No, I'm just. Well, if it wasn't for Yoko, we wouldn't have Sean Lennon.
That's terrible.
Damn it, that's
No.
our fault.
Hey, no. If we didn't have Sean Lennon, we wouldn't have the Lennon Claypool Delirium.
Okay.
Have you never heard that?
No, I have not.
Oh, it's fucking great. It's Sean Lennon and Les Claypool have a
Really?
band together.
Oh,
and
that's
it's
cool.
like it's great. And Sean Lennon sounds exactly like John Lennon. Like his voice sounds
It's not a bad thing.
I'm
like that.
telling you right now, go listen to it tonight.
All right, I'll have to
The
check it
Lennon
out.
Claypool Delirium. It's amazing.
All right, I'll check
And he
it out.
plays
definitely.
in the videos he has a chrome, like the whole thing is chrome guitar by Built, like one of the Built
Yeah,
Jagmeister or Zagmeister, whatever it's called.
right.
Oh, it's great. But yeah, so Just Surprise Me is the other podcast that a lot of us do, and it's more of like the non PG-13 rated version of a show.
Yeah, you definitely have to have non-sensitive sensibilities to listen to that.
And there is
but
no sort of like structure to it whatsoever.
no, but that's what makes it fun.
Yep,
It's a damn
plus,
good time.
Myself and Doug also build guitar pedals. My guitar pedal company is called Like My Pedals. And Mr. Doug, go ahead with yours.
So mine is 37FX. I got a new pedal coming out. I've been riding the Fat Guy Little Coat Wave for a while, but now it's time for a new one. So this will be the first time I'm announcing it other than on Instagram. So it's a treble boost, and it is the I'm Your Huckleberry treble boost. Catch the theme connection there? Yeah. So
Yep, I like that.
which is actually a movie that we will be doing. It's on our list. It'll be next year early, but Tombstone, one of my favorite flicks of all time, so I cannot wait to do that movie with you guys.
I like when you say next year, which makes it seem like it's a long time away, but it's really like a month.
I know that threw me too. I was like, God damn.
Exactly. Trust me, at my age, that freaks me the hell out. So
I'm like, next year? And then I'm like,
Wait a minute.
oh, wait, that's only like a couple days away. Like, it's almost
I know.
next year already. And
Yeah.
thank God, because this year could not come to an end any sooner.
no, that's true. But you know what? Be careful what you wish for. You know, it's
I-
funny
we-
because I found a Facebook memory that I posted from 2016, saying, you know, it was just a picture of a middle finger that said 2017 flipping off 2016. So, you know,
Well, we know what happened.
it can always get worse.
So
is
I had
frightening.
a family friend who's a mechanic. He does a lot of work for us. Super nice guy. But which is crazy because he seems like he's in super good shape. He's like super thin, always is outside working all day long. About 2 weeks ago, I guess it was right around Thanksgiving time, he had a heart attack. And like his customer just saw him laid out on the floor in the back of the shop, and they called 911 and took him in, and he's fine now. So like,
Well, that's good.
you know, with all everything saying like here, because he is fine, everything worked out good, but he had to have a couple stents put in his heart and some bypass surgery done. But when he first like went in, he was in a coma for a couple days, and when he woke up, he couldn't remember anything that happened over the past year.
Oh,
And I was like,
man,
what a year to forget. Like, if
No,
you could
exactly.
just forget 2020 existed.
Mm-hmm.
But then I started thinking about, like, how am I going to explain to him, like, I'm like, okay, so people have to wear masks everywhere we go now. You can't come within 6 feet of people.
except in
apparently
Florida.
There's a plague.
Except in Florida.
Trump's not the president anymore. And this is going to be the hardest one for you to get because he's also, just like me, is a Dolphins fan. The Dolphins are actually good. I'm like, you might believe the rest of it. You probably won't believe that one.
Exactly. You're lying to me.
Well,
Oh, now I know you're full of shit.
I'm glad
had
he's
me till
okay,
then.
man. I'm glad he's okay.
Yeah, that's scary, man.
That
Yeah, he's a
reminds me of
real good dude.
back before the show Lost was terrible, when it was still pretty decent.
All right, you shut your mouth right now, sir.
I love Lost.
I love it too, dude. The Lost finale, my wife baked me a Lost cake, and it had a smoke monster on it, made of cotton. Like, I
Nice.
loved Lost so very much.
I thought like she baked you a cake and she's like, you're like, where is it? She goes, I lost it.
Lost.
I loved it. But there was a gag on that show that had to do with the Boston Red Sox, where
Yes.
as part of proving that he had left the island, one of the characters said, like, in 04, the Boston Red Sox won the World Series, and the other guy was like, "That's how I know you're lying."
Yeah, exactly.
And while we're speaking of Lost and things that have to do with cinematic universes, if Marvel ever does decide to get Gambit into the thing and not just like, the weird cameo he had in the one Wolverine movie, which was terrible, I really want Josh Holloway to be Gambit.
He could do that. I like Josh Holloway a lot.
He would play a great Gambit.
I would be absolutely fine with that casting if it went that way. I think he's too old now, though.
No,
That's
I
the
don't
only
think so, 'cause
problem.
Gambit was kind of old.
No, I
He was
know,
like
but
an old, dirty, like Cajun guy.
no, I get it in the comic books, but in the way Hollywood likes to do this shit, I think he's too old. It's unfortunate because I dig him a lot.
But and the other thing that kind of sucks is because she's already in Ant-Man and the Wasp, Evangeline Lilly would have been a great rogue.
Yeah, she would have
Like
been.
the two of them as Gambit and Rogue would have been.
Yeah.
I would have fulfilled my Lost fantasy, and then at the same
you
time,
want to
my
talk
Marvel
about?
fantasy.
You want to talk about crushes? Evangeline
Yeah.
Lilly.
Oh yeah. She was
Yep.
up there.
Yeah, that's a story for another day.
Lost.
All right, so we need to mention that our next episode, which will drop in January, is my favorite movie of all time, without a doubt. It is number 1 on my list, Cool Hand Luke. So you young folks are going to have to deal with my old man movie, but I promise to make it entertaining, and we'll provide a lot of facts and trivia about that. And, yeah, that's our next episode after this one.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I really enjoy that movie.
I'm
Yeah.
excited about that one too, especially because it's such a, premiere film, and it's
Have you
one of those
seen it,
movies.
Eric?
I've seen it, but I don't remember a ton
Okay,
about
no, I get it. I would, I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, it's funny. I only found it later in life. I mean, it's not like I've been watching this one since I was a kid. I found it as an adult, and
Yeah.
it just, I've always been a Paul Newman fan. So we're gonna get into it. But anyway, that's our next flick. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
Oh yeah, that's gonna be a fun episode. And it's weird because a lot of people haven't seen that movie, which is kind of odd when you think about it. But I think when people watch it, they're gonna be very pleasantly surprised.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it's a movie that you might not know from the title, but it's got one of the most, quite a few of the most iconic, like, quotes, movie quotes that you might know the quote, but might not know the movie or the context of the quote that we'll, of course, talk about. So, yeah.
Which quote are you thinking of?
Well, I mean, obviously, the Guns N' Roses stole it, but by the way, I hate those guys. Anyway, but
Yeah, I don't care for them much
never a fan.
myself.
But yeah, failure to communicate
What we
comes
have
from that
here
movie.
is
So
a failure to communicate.
yeah, and Strother Martin. Again, we're going to get into this. I can't help but start to ramble about it. But he actually recreated his role from that movie on an SNL skit, which was one of the funniest SNL skits ever. And again, we'll talk about it in the movie, in that episode. But can you tell I'm excited about this?
I can tell, man.
I can tell. That's why I'm getting you.
I'm really excited about this one. So anyway.
Hey, man, if Paul Newman's acting is half as good as his salad dressing, I'm in.
There you go.
Yeah, and if his salad dressing's half as good as his racing, I'm definitely in.
Yep. Well, hey, that'll be our rating. How many salad dressings are you going to give it?
I give it 4 poppy seed.
I'm gonna give Cool Hand Luke Cool Ranch.
Yeah. So. Yep. So that's the next one.
He's a Cool Ranch hand.
It's time for bed, Joe.
It is. It is.
Well, thank you guys for joining us again. And in our typical sign out here, I'm going to go ahead with a little bit of lights.
Camera.
Fuck off.
I got to stop laughing when he says that, but it's funny. It's like a